We're taking to the skies yet again with Booster 15 and Ship 34. It's been chaotic, but we are looking good for today's launch. My name's Quantify, I'm an aerospace engineering student, and I'm joined by some of my co-hosts. If we want to go around the circle, Anti-Person, say a word.
Hey, I'm Joshua Anti-Person. You might know me on Twitter as Anti-Person. Um, and I'm just happy to be here. Let's see some catches, right?
Awesome. Joey, how about you?
Hello?
Joey may be behind
Are
the
we getting sound,
invisible
guys?
mirror.
Are we
Here he is. Hello,
Sorry.
Joey.
I'm just listening. I'm watching the chat. I don't know if we're getting sound. Can we get a sound check? Can everybody give
Yeah.
us a 1 2 1 2 in the chat?
Or 3-4, even 5-6 if we're lucky.
Sound check.
Hello,
1 2 1
sound.
2 1 2 1 2.
Do I sound as lovely and
Oh,
radio as normal?
Okay.
okay. My
Sound is
name
fine,
is Joey
hold on.
Leo. I am at Port Isabel, and I'm going to be out here being miserable for quite a bit of time. So I'll hand this off to the rest of everybody else.
Awesome. Kay, say a word.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kay, videographer for Interstellar Gateway. Currently off-site this flight, but excited to be here on chat with everybody, and we'll be moderating the chat, so keep it PG up in here.
Yeah, don't fear, we do have more videographers, so we do have some videos today. Mav, introduce yourself, my good sir.
Hello, I'm Mav. May know me by SLS on Twitter. This is my second stream with y'all. I am also an aerospace engineering student in Scotland. It's good to be here again. Fun to be here for a flight. Let's hope this one goes a lot better than the last one.
Yeah, I got to say, last time I think we turned you into a bit of a cash cow with the drinking incident, so I'll try not to make that happen again. Miranda, how about you?
Hi, I'm Mira. You might know me from General Purpose Shenanigans. I am IGW's hardware wench, and yeah, I'm just happy to be here watching stainless tubes get frosty and hopefully slightly less frosty.
And finally, last but certainly not least, Mr. Perigi. Perigi himself.
Hello, everybody. You know me. I'm the marketing guy, future merchandise guy for Interstellar Gateway. Very, very happy to be here. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone in the chat who's been gifting memberships and getting memberships to Interstellar Gateway. Thank you so much. Those are incredibly helpful and valuable to us as a company, so we can keep bringing you content you love. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, good news. My kid's rating today. We've got Canraptor, member for 1 month and stage 0. Thank you, Mr. Canraptor. Happy SN10 day indeed. And I3 Lou, or Blue, can't remember how to say it, 10 memberships gifted. That is awesome. Thank you very much, my friend. Hopefully, to those of you who did get a membership, do stick around. We do have some interesting stuff every once in a while. So,
Of course.
what do we try? So, this flight's very much somewhat a repeat with some minor tweaks. Obviously, Flight 7 went kind of catastrophically for the ship, pretty well for the booster. What we're expecting is a great booster catch, hopefully, with Booster 15 this time, which doesn't have many massive differences from the previous Booster 14. Also looking at some Starlink simulator deployments. So these are essentially mass simulators designed around the dimensions of the Starlink satellites, and we're looking at 4 getting deployed today from Ship 34 in flight. We're also looking at another Raptor relight, so this is obviously critical for certifying the Starship for safe use. It proves that the Starship can be safely deorbited, which is necessary to certify it for orbital operations. Should this happen, especially with this being a new Block 2, we could be looking at a truly orbital test flight in the near future. It is also possible that we'll have some interesting effects on re-entry. We obviously know SpaceX are doing a ton of thermal research into optimal tile placement. We know they've stripped away some tiles from some locations. They've replaced tile materials in some locations as well, and are exploring different types of tiles, such as actively cooled tiles, where you'll transpire gas through the actual skin, which is going to be interesting. So we could see some things go wrong, but at the very least, it'll be an interesting little thing. So, Mr. Perigi, if you want to give us a brief rundown on what actually happened last time.
Of course, the monster of my own making. During Flight 7, we saw the ship explode off the coast of the Bahamas Islands, leading to hundreds of videos across social media showing the debris raining down. While some debris landed on the island and damaged property, SpaceX has been able to proceed with mitigations to get the flight off the ground shortly. With SpaceX releasing an update covering Ship 33's failure, we learned the cause of the failure. Similarly to Starship's second flight, propellant and oxygen in the aft cavity of the ship have led to a rapid shutdown of the ship's Raptor engines and eventually caused it to explode. While Ship 25, the Starship's second test flight, had fires in the aft cavity due to an intentional dump of liquid oxygen, Ship 33 fell victim to a far more common and far older failure mode in rocketry, harmonic resonance. Harmonic resonance occurs when the vehicle begins to shake itself to death. Resonances significantly affect the craft, causing connections to fail and leaks to start. As SpaceX has confirmed, one of these resonances occurred on Ship 33, leading to several leaks in the aft cavity and eventually a detonation. The ship then tumbled out of control, losing more and more engines and eventually re-entering over the Turkish Caicos, leading to the iconic imagery seen from the flight. To ensure resonances wouldn't occur during the next flight, SpaceX upgraded the vehicle and conducted several tests, including some that have set new records for the program. On February 11th, over 2 weeks ago, SpaceX conducted the longest static fire of a Starship vehicle to date, with a nearly minute-long fire of Ship 34. Besides being the most lengthy static fire to date, the static fire was also one of the most intense. SpaceX tested multiple thrust levels of the ship, adjustments to propellant temperatures, and a new thrust goal for Flight 8. This thrust level may not be lower, as seen by the Flight 8 pages on SpaceX's update section, listing SECO, second engine cutoff, at 8 seconds earlier, and therefore Ship 34's thrust targets may have been set even higher. This static fire also validated hardware level changes to the essential parts of the ship, such as the fuel transfer tubes to SpaceX's Starship's 3 vacuum-optimized Raptor engines, with SpaceX stating that the 3 different configurations were tested in the transfer tubes to reduce the oscillations present on Ship 34 and all future Starship vehicles. Finally, SpaceX also introduced a new fire suppression system on the aft skirt of Ship 34, a dedicated nitrogen purge system, once again to reduce the chance of fire occurring on the ship. This new nitrogen-based fire suppression system is kind of like the one that can be seen on the Super Heavy booster. However, the system on the booster uses carbon dioxide instead of nitrogen. Mr. Anti-Person, would you like to take us through some of the upgrades seen on the vehicles?
For sure. Yeah, speaking of the booster, a couple of changes are visible outside of Booster 15, all evidence of lessons learned from previous boosters. The most notable and significant changes will not be visible immediately during this flight. Instead, they're going to be on the top of the booster, hidden by the hot staging ring. In addition to the standard tubing at the top, Booster 15 now features 2 large steel crossbars inside of its forward section, likely to deal with the forces of catching. Likely, the force of the 2 large catch arms has led to some difficulty reusing the forward section, leading to SpaceX installing these large bars to reinforce the section. While nowhere near as significant, SpaceX has clarified why one of the Raptor engines on Booster 14, the booster for Flight 7, failed to ignite on the boost back burn. SpaceX states that the igniter was in a low power condition, which led to the engine's startup being aborted. Whatever this issue fundamentally was, SpaceX has clarified that they were aware of it and that future versions of Raptor, likely referring to Raptor 3, have hardware built in to mitigate these issues. While Flight 7 failed, it debuted a lot of new upgrades on the ship that we sadly did not get to see demonstrated during the coast and landing phases of the flight. Today, this will hopefully change, and we will see the full power of the new version of the Starship upper stage, Block 2, in action. We'll discuss these changes today, and feel free to ask any questions you have in chat. Hopefully, our somewhat qualified team on stream can answer a few of them.
Qualified enough, anyway. I've seen a question from Ninja Guy Dan who's asking if aircraft de-icing fluid could be used to prevent the formation of ice on the booster and ship. Is it far too cold for that to be effective? Would it have any benefit? De-icing fluid on aircraft is really just to get rid of ice that already exists, not to prevent new ice from forming. The only real way to do that is with active de-icing systems, stuff like heating, where they redirect bleed air. On Starship, ice forming during launch isn't really a massive issue. It's so thin that the weight incurred is not tremendous. On aircraft, it's 10 times more deadly because as you build up with ice, your lifting surface becomes less effective, but it's not so important here. I mean, on top of that, de-icing fluid is pretty environmentally horrible, at least most types anyway, and can degrade concrete. So it's not really the kind of thing you'd use unless you absolutely had to.
Yeah, and to add to Emlyn, the vibration from the vehicle's engines typically shakes off the majority of that ice, so it's not that big of a deal typically.
I'm sorry, have you mixed me up with the other British guy? How
It is quite
That
possible
sounds
to have.
about American.
That is
You're not from the
embarrassing.
same part as me. Don't mix us up. It's offensive.
Of course, of course.
That's so tragic.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you to iBlue for becoming a member for 3 months. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
I do see that. It's blue or iBlue. Very well, very well. I fear I may forget that by the time of next stream, but I'll try not to.
Yeah. When do we expect the first flight powered by Raptor 3? That's another good question in the queue. Who here knows a lot about the upcoming booster production and ship production? If that's not just me, anyone want to take a stab at it?
Tank watchers in chat.
Right. Well, if nobody wants to speak up, as a absolutely certified tank watcher myself, it's very likely that we're going to see the introduction of Raptor 3, or at least significant introductions and stages up to the V3 booster, or V3, whichever it is at this point. God, if I know. Because we've recently seen a test article called Booster 18.1, which is quote unquote the front flange section, which of course the current section of Starships do not have a front flange section. The only kind that would feature that today would be a design consistent with what we saw in the original renders from that very cursed presentation, which also introduced the abomination known as Starship V3. It's very likely that we're going to see a Booster V2 with Raptor 3s somewhere around the time of Booster 18, maybe then a little bit later, but certainly around Booster 18 is when we're going to start seeing Raptor 3 introduced.
Hopefully. Just realized we've had $2 as well from Olivia Salvia. Love you guys. Thanks for the epic views. Thank you. It is completely overcast with cloud right now, so everything's grey, horrible, and flat. But it's going to look cooler in the post-flight video, which you should check out when we drop it.
Exactly. Hey, just like home, for, of course, our lovely stream god Emlyn and Quantify. Gray, overcast, cold, and miserable.
It's awful, man. I was just talking about this earlier, how I can't take any good videos for clients half the days because it's just dreary and flat. Sucks, man.
Speaking of the UK, we've got somebody, Cam Jenkins, coming from Manchester, UK. I was just there recently, acting in a movie. But I wanted to go up in the chat a bit. Yeah, man, you know how it is. I just wanted to go up in the chat a bit. Andy79 asked, is there a VR cam today? And I just wanted to kind of touch on that a bit. We did do a VR, perspective on previous flights. They are extremely difficult to remotely trigger and set up to make that happen. We are looking to potentially use VR camera stuff in the future, but it is also such a niche thing that very few people are even interested in. So it's hard for us to justify, setting up another camera out there with, not knowing how many people are going to be actually interested in something like that. But thank you for the, question, and maybe we can look into implementing something a bit sooner rather than later, but I do not think we have a VR camera out today.
We've had Canraptor asking if we can... Oh, sorry, go on, Anti-Raptor. Anti-person, even. Christ.
Anti-Raptor?
SpaceX speak, it's getting to me, man. It's getting to me. Oh. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I wasn't even speaking, but since I've got the floor,
go on, then.
Just really quick, everyone in chat, let's hear where you're from. I see we've got people from West Yorkshire, people from Edinburgh.
That's me. I'm the Edinburgh one.
Drop.
Where's everyone from? Put your location in chat.
If we get any Sheffield,
where in the world?
I'll be happy.
Yeah. First, we
got any viewers from Colorado?
We have got a concerning comment from Canraptor who asks if we can crucify Perigee if the booster offshore diverts. Perigee, can we get your thoughts on that, please?
Thanks
for your comments, Perigee. We'll take it into consideration.
Yeah, I think we would highly consider it. Yeah, thank you for the input.
Your sacrifice will be worthwhile.
For
Thank you,
parity's
thank
sake,
you.
I hope that does not come to pass.
I've got another. Yeah, what's
Just
the-
a little comment I saw from someone wondering about the locations of Space-Based Fox, my former Perigee associate and business partner. He is currently on land, to my knowledge. Don't worry, we kept him there, so he'll be
Good.
right where he's supposed to be
Good.
for launch.
Good to know.
Yeah,
good
for
to
those
know.
of you unaware of the lore, SpaceX Fox has a unfortunate habit of going on cruises right before unfortunate events. So we do our level best to keep him on land and away from the ocean, which appears he has some sort of influence over. It appears the ocean can cause incidents when he is nearby.
This means a lot of people here. We've got Westlife, Indiana, Jenks, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
You're trying, man. It's
Christ.
Oklahoma. That's my
Christ.
home.
You'll get it
state.
one day.
There
It's
we go.
okay.
There we go. Oklahoma. Whatever.
You know,
States in
Oklahoma,
America.
where
It's
the
all the
wind
same
comes
anyway. It's
and down the
it's
plains.
hot and they've got big roads. That's America.
Hey,
to
we
me.
got
North.
and torture.
Dude, honestly, I when I visited my local Costco for the first time, their parking spaces are American sized, and my car takes up half of it. It's incredible. Incredible. We've got Jenks, so I've already said that. Northern France, East London, New York, Atlanta, West Lafayette, Germany, DMV gang. Is that Department of Motor Vehicles or is that a place?
Dallas
That is,
metro area, I believe.
Oh, that would make more sense.
That is DC,
was-
Virginia, and Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
If-
Duh, I'm
if,
sorry.
if the
Yeah.
queue was so long
That
that
out
you
of
could
order,
watch an
but-
entire Starship flight before renewing your license, I feel sorry for you.
That's typical DMV.
Cam Jenkins hoping the weather holds out for a launch today. So on weather, it seems very, very awfully windy, but not so windy that they would abort a flight. I think gusts are really up to 26 miles an hour-ish. I think they launched in something similar last time, so they probably will go ahead. It's just going to look dreary if it continues being overcast. We do have 2 hours and a bit left, though, so the hope is that those clouds will subside, but even if they don't, we get Starship climbing through the clouds, which is always a cool shot, especially on drone.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Everyone
Holly,
seems to be.
I see you were asking who was from Oklahoma. Holly, that is myself, K. Just the letter K. Here I am. Hi. I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I live in Nashville.
Yeah. We're seeing some people here from Brownsville, Texas, which excellent.
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
Hey,
Shanks, thank you for the
$20.
$20.
Oh, thanks.
Good luck to Flight 8.
Oh, we're
Thank
gonna
Thank you. Thank you so much.
today. Good lord.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fine
the vibes
dining.
have been
Steak
officially
dinners.
offset. The vibes
Steak
are
dinners
offset.
on the private jets. Amazing. Thank you for the good luck, Shanks. We will.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not sure if you're saying two. Oh, you're saying 2 Flight 8. Never mind. I
Um,
was getting all excited there. Yeah, no, screw me, I suppose. No, I do hope it goes well. If it doesn't, I think SpaceX might be in some deep water. Flight 7
Yeah.
was not a good look at all.
No.
Yeah, that
definitely
was definitely rough. Also, to everyone out there that is sending us super chats, thank you so much. That is going to not only supply the team on the ground at Starbase with much needed refreshments and food, but also it allows us to continue to do things like these live streams and go to Brownsville to actually film these launches. So everything you guys contribute to us definitely goes straight back into the company to make these streams and the content we're making better than it's been before. So, and this is looking to be one of our best launch perspectives, and we've got so many cameras out there that we've troubleshooted with our team behind the scenes. So I think we're due for some excitement here, guys.
Fortunately,
For sure.
logistics is difficult. We aren't allowed to stand next to these cameras, at least most of them, all the time because some of them are inside kind of the keep out zone. So you've got to have remote triggering as well, and that can have its own nightmare. We've got to have network devices. We've got to have massive batteries. So you've not just got the cost of these expensive cameras, but everything to make the expensive cameras work. So there's a lot of money in it, unfortunately, but it's with support that we can keep bringing you views. And they are good
Yeah.
views, I think. They are good views.
Oh, beautiful views. Let's be honest.
Also, I do joke with the team that if I ever get diagnosed with some terminal illness, I would gladly sign a waiver to stand next to one of the cameras and or lay under the Raptors to get the views.
Awesome
Dedication.
one-time tracking shot. Great.
Here I am. One-time
Is that
tracking shot.
is that something I can get put on my ID next to organ donor status?
yeah. Raptor donor status. It's for science, okay? It's for
It's a
science.
hell
I'm
of a
telling you.
cremation,
Oh,
to be
wow.
fair.
Thank you, Haley E. Bolander, for becoming a member of Interstellar Gateway. Thank you very, very much.
Excellent.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, thank you. Again, goes to support all of us. Thank you so much.
And you know what? Really quick, while we're on the topic of cameras and the team, can we just take a moment in chat to appreciate our amazing team that was out at Starbase this morning, setting up all the cameras, making sure everything's
Yeah,
perfect? Let's take a minute.
yeah.
Let's appreciate them.
Let's get some appreciation for Joey Leal and Brandon M. Wynn for
Mr.
just shrugging off the urge to remain comfortable in bed and going out, doing everything, getting all those cameras set up, doing everything. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Gotta admire the
Yeah.
man
Go
for it.
team. Go
Joey.
team.
Sometimes it's tricky to
God
peek
bless
behind the
Joey.
curtain sometimes. It's tricky to peek behind the curtain sometimes, but there is a ton of work that goes into these launches. So your viewership is very much appreciated.
I had a question from
Indeed.
Logan Doorbell here. Can we see everyone's favorite cams that you have set up around the area? Maybe in time we can get you some images of the camera setups we have. We can start working on that.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
Would someone like to explain kind of the difference that we have currently between the cameras that we can show everybody live and all of the like larger cameras that aren't
Yeah.
able to be configured for live stream? And Kay, would you like to take that?
Yeah, I can talk a bit on that. I'm usually out at Brownsville with the team, setting up these cameras, so I'm pretty familiar with our, profile that we have right now. I don't know how deep Joey wants me to get into specs of certain cameras because we do have some stuff out there that we are testing, and we just want to make sure that it works properly before we kind of.
You could tell it all.
Okay, word. All right, so right now our camera profile, we've got a Black Magic out there, which we are running 8K 120 frames a second for this launch. And all of these, by the way, are remotely triggered and coded with, there's just so much that goes on behind the scenes to make all this happen, like we were previously stating. But they are all kind of handled off-site, and we are using cellular to activate these cameras to make sure that they capture right before launch window opens all the way to the end of launch window, just to make sure if there are any slight slips in the launch time, that we are able to still capture the stuff that we need to capture. So I think our highest end camera out there right now is a Blackmagic. Moving down from there, we've got several Canons. Brandon is more knowledgeable on the Canon side. I personally shoot on Sony cameras, but we've got several R5 Mark IIIs, Mark IIs, you name it. We've got that stuff out there with different lenses and glass on those to get different perspectives. Then the PTZs obviously are the cameras you guys are currently watching on the live stream that give you these incredible live views that are also being remotely accessed and run by our team behind the scenes. And those are able to, track ship as it takes off or as it launches, and booster catch and anything else we should want to capture while out at Starbase, where we cannot, like we said, stand next to these cameras. And lastly, as a mitigation, as a fail-safe, I have conveyed to the team that we must continue using GoPros and Ace Pros, because if anything fails, at least we can always fall back on all reliable, which is GoPro and the Ace Pros, which is kind of what we started on way back. Like 3, 4, we ran a lot of GoPros out there and got some incredible shots. And so we know that they work. The scheduling works well. And as far as actually making those function and keeping them on, what people may not understand about GoPros is that running those with just a battery in, they will overheat so quickly. The camera will shut off. You will not get any footage. So we've had to configure kind of a housing situation to not only keep those cameras cool, so there is a housing with a fan, but there's also a battery bank to keep those running as well. So that's kind of our camera profile. And then offsite from Starbase, we've got Brandon. He is shooting on a Canon with a zoom lens. He's going to be doing some tracking shots for us. And then Joey, I believe, is flying a drone offsite outside of the TFR, which, if you're unfamiliar with drone lingo or jargon, TFRs are basically temporary flight path restrictions where you are not allowed to cross, and those are set by the FAA in conjunction with SpaceX, obviously. So that is our current camera profile, and then I'm not sure, but I think Joey might have a behind-the-scenes camera to get his reaction, and I don't know if Brandon does as well, but I'm sure he's going to set up his iPhone and film something as well, just to have that, because we are, if you don't know, we are creating an ongoing behind-the-scenes, like kind of documentary type series on the Interstellar Gateway YouTube channel. We have just released our prologue, so we are working on the following episodes that will come out in the near future and the extended future. We're just trying to figure out, you know, the scripting of those and kind of the editing rundown of those videos as well. So yeah, that's our camera rundown for you guys.
Yeah,
Just to
just go on,
to
sorry.
follow up, I do have an R5 with me over here with an 800 millimeter lens on it. So I can't see much right now. It's pretty foggy, but hopefully it clears up in time for launch. But yeah, great breakdown, Kay. It sounded really good.
Thank you.
Quickly to mention the PTZs, which is obviously what we're saying. PTZ just stands for pan tilt zoom, and they're generally simpler cameras. They're kind of things that you can remotely control, move up, down, left, and right, and zoom in and out, of course. Those give us simpler video files. The more complex cameras give us really fun video files that we have to do a bit of work with before we can publish. So that's why there is generally kind of a time delay between the launch and getting the first really nice videos out. But when we do get them out, they're going to look sick. They capture an awful lot more data.
Yeah, it'll be worth the wait.
Oh God. In chat, someone has donated. Corrupted's donated $15 and has said a horrifying message, for which I will not leave on stream. However, thank you very, very, very much for the $15. That will help us a lot and helps people, all of us in this chat, go do cool stuff and achieve our dreams. Because I think everybody here wanted very much to be much more involved with the live space flight scene, and I think everyone here is incredibly happy for the opportunity. So thank you very, very much, Corrupted. We appreciate the 15.
And a quick thank you to Joey for facilitating all of us. Joey is the CEO of Interstellar Gateway, and he has made an absolutely incredible team, and we are all very grateful to be a part of that team.
Yeah. To segue into kind of helping the team here.
I'm just a desk worker. That's it. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just a desk worker. The phone wasn't working, but yeah. They all do the work. I just sit here and sleep. But thank you anyway.
Sleep until launch.
Go take a nap. We'll call you when it launches.
That's what he gets paid the big bucks for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
That's if you'll wake up in time.
We're going to have 1.5 hours of soft lullaby songs in the countdown.
Soft elevator.
Maybe I should work on that, actually. Be good.
You should work on some like sleep sounds, some binaural beats for Joey.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's an idea. Put that down in the catalog. 10 hours of Starship ASMR for you to sleep to. And it's just the loudest, like, absolutely incredible audio quality of just every single Starship static fire we can get.
Holy cow.
Oh my God.
Daniel?
Whoa!
You are a legend.
Daniel,
$50.
Daniel, thank you so much. We appreciate it, buddy.
Now.
You're keeping the lights on, man.
Yeah, literally, you get a plaque, sir.
Do we want to get some appetizers tonight, gang? Maybe some dessert?
Dude, I miss calamari, man.
I think the Uber fees to get them from America to the UK and back is going to be absolutely ridiculous, but we can give it a go.
We've got crayons back with $10 saying at the pad, straight up exploding it. And by it, of course, I mean my Starship.
No, come on. We can't harsh the vibes. This close to launch. Gotta go perfectly.
It's all going wrong. We did. I do have to interrupt this because I saw GOES mentioned, my beloved satellite. Sedated Wee says, looking at the local cloud movement on GOES East, it's looking like a solid chance of at least partial cloud clearing. I'm going to trust you. I'll put up those images in a second, but we will trust your insight. It does look like the wind is helping. So hopefully we get at least a little bit of daylight, because dreary grey is going to suck.
It's just like Scotland.
It's just like Scotland.
Reminds me of home.
Speaking of Scotland, actually, the UK space government is, what's UK space government? Wish we had a space government. UK Space Agency is performing a massive push to get us launching small rockets from the Shetland Islands, which are like a few islands right at the tip of Scotland, and I can only dread the weather conditions there. If you thought this
Yeah.
was bad, imagine launching out of Scotland, man.
It's like
Oh, thank you.
Scotland, you
Thank
can
you for
experience all 4 seasons in one day, and I am not lying. You can.
Oh yeah, I do love going outside, seeing that it's sunny. So I'll wear like a nice light jacket, and I exit my 4 hours of lectures, and it is just rainforest outside, and people are running home.
Yeah.
And yeah, Miranda, Miranda, who's that? Funny, it's a familiar name. It says we've got
I wonder.
120 viewers and 70 likes. Can you help balance that out? That is true. That is true. I do hate to say this, but you might have to smash that like button per se.
Nah, we don't have to stoop that low.
You might have.
But,
Oh my God!
maybe-
Thank you,
maybe
Bunko.
hit the bell. Oh my God, 50
Another
buckaroonies.
50. Thank you
50
so much.
buckaroonies. Christ. Well, I think we're busting out the scampi now. I can't lie. I think maybe a little bit of caviar even. Very good. Thank you, Bunko. We do try. We do try. If
We
only
are
you could
eating
see
good tonight.
the absurd file sizes that we have to work with to deliver like launch footage. It's absurd, man. I think no amount of money can heal my mind looking at like storage metrics.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Guaranteed.
South Padre Island is out of power. A blip hit there. Oof.
I think. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Do we have a power blip that hit there? Maybe instead of like.
Apparently.
Did a
Oh
Hopefully-
my
Zeppelin?
god, there's video.
Hopefully it stayed. There's
I've just
video of
seen
the
it.
vent.
Video.
Oh my
There's a
god.
video.
Yeah,
Well, good news. We remain unaffected. We
Are you
used
serious?
independent power supplies for this.
Oh my God! It was a blimp. It
Whoa.
wasn't a
Whoa.
typo.
Oh,
Hold
it
on,
was
we're getting
the.
off on stream. Don't leave us
I
yet,
yeah,
I
ladies.
just noticed.
We'll
I just
wait for
noticed
this
that
to
the
appear
thing
on
wasn't in the
screen.
sky anymore. Like,
Oh,
and I
wow.
just saw it 10 minutes ago, and it's not there anymore.
Oh my
Oh my goodness.
wow. Ladies and
Wait, isn't it-
gentlemen, 50 pounds from
Oh,
Crayons.
Crayons has just purchased us a
Crayons.
hard disk with $50.
Let's go.
Thank
How
you
many
so much.
Thank you, Crayons.
Oh,
Oh my
thank
God,
you.
Emma's gonna love you, dude. Emma's gonna love you.
Where's the video of the blimp? What are we talking about? Show it.
It'll
Yeah,
come
we're
out.
pulling
It'll
that
come
up.
out
We're pulling
right
it
now.
up
Look at
now.
that. What's
There
on
it
there?
is,
Oh
there it
my
is.
god.
Look
Dude.
Oh my god.
Look at
ULA
that.
snipers are upgrading. Honestly.
I've
Straight
got
free
I've
fall.
got Zeppelins
Oh
now.
my god. Look at that. Oh no. If the official
No.
This is actually,
stream's knocked out, that would. Oof. That
So
would
this is actually
suck.
this is block 3 Starship we're looking at. We've decided that the best part is no part.
Oh my
Oh
god.
Lord.
That's crazy.
Wow. That is
I've never seen a
something
blimp do
special.
that
I'll
before.
say that right now.
I've never seen a blimp do that before.
It's
I
very
think so.
calmly.
I'm used-
Extremely stressed.
I'm used to boats, and I'm used to boats, and I'm used to planes acting up around rocket launches, but blimps are a new
Yo,
one.
that's crazy, bro.
Blimps are certainly a new one.
I mean, you know what? I think Starlink fixes this.
Oh my God. Snap a Starlink 7. Someone asks, is this SN11? Yeah, no one actually knows what happened to SN11. This might be it. We still haven't figured out, for Christ's sake. iBlue, 10 Interstellar
10?
Gateway memberships. This is too
Thank
much
you.
now. I don't even... What's more expensive than caviar? What can we eat that's above caviar?
Just gold, just straight up
Just
gold.
straight up gold, man.
Gold
Shovel that
bars.
stuff into my mouth. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, Blue. It's a...
Fran
we've got,
in the
we got a
chat.
proper train going, good lord.
Wow.
You know, should we just buy a jet at this point? I reckon we
I-
could. Have we got the
Great
budget
idea.
for that,
Interstellar Jetway, everybody.
guys? It's just a jet's way. Oh,
Hold
that's
on.
awful.
Tarot card reader flips over a card with someone who looks exactly like me crashing a blimp into a power line. Me. Is that good? Incredible. Oh, wow. The
Wait,
official
so it-
stream's back up, thank God.
Big man says
Is
I
it
think this will affect the Falcon 9 cadence.
Is it being reported that all power on SPI is out, or is it just limited?
I think it is. Every single stream on X seems to be broken right now. Oh no, that is not
Everyone
good.
except.
That is not
everyone
good. That
except-
is
Oh,
scrub
that's
worthy.
so bad. Oh, that is scrub worthy because if nobody can see it, they're not gonna. Oh no.
Apparently, the official SpaceX stream is back up, so not scrub worthy, but
Interesting that their stream went down and ours is just fine.
Still up. Perhaps. What if we even said that we were better than the official SpaceX stream? I mean,
that's.
I
it.
mean,
Do we wanna
are
tempt
we?
do we
Are
want to
we?
tempt the gods with our hubris? With
Right,
our
I'm going to
hubris?
do something that's completely unprecedented and segue this back into talking about Starship. Which
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
I know it's messed up. I know it's messed up. but
Oh
I
man.
was just
Terrible.
looking just below the forward flaps. Those heat tiles are really interestingly placed. I think SpaceX is testing just how much they can trim down the tiles around there and still get decent coverage of the plasma flow. It is super interesting to see exactly how they've modeled where the tiles are actually needed, because that is a strange shape.
mm, mm.
But
Yeah,
it's all
I mean they've
intentional,
had
all by design.
they've had multiple reentries now to try to kind of whittle that down. So slowly but surely they kind of work out, hey, we can remove these tiles, but maybe we need a few more over here.
It was a delicate
Yeah.
art, and I remember the original concepts for Starship were kind of thinking, what if we could have no tiles at all and just have pure stainless steel and transpirational cooling, which was ridiculous, but maybe it's in the future. I wouldn't
Make it
want to be
firm
studying the
concrete
thermodynamics for
steps.
that though.
There is an active cooling tile experiment on board.
There
So
is,
for
there
all we
is.
know, if that performs well, I mean, who knows? A lot of things are in flux right now. It would be interesting to see if they explore that further.
We've got a really nice view here of the oddly bumpy nose. There's a bunch of interesting different kind of shapes and depths of tiles here in different materials, I'm sure, that are being tested. So we'll see exactly how it performs. I imagine there's some fun aerodynamics testing as well to see how much this actually affects performance. But
Yes.
there's a wacky
Well.
nose. Corrupted is asking, SpaceX spent so much money on the cameras they forgot to buy a generator. It's true. ShamX has done it again. FakeX.
Oh, wow.
Didn't they construct like quite a big generator setup just for Starbase, like a massive kind of gas turbine setup?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It was.
Sorry.
It was done a while ago.
Who were we just talking about? Sorry.
Hey, sorry to butt in. I have a quick update on the power outage. They hit the power line going along the bridge to
blink.
get to SPI. It likely just knocked out all of SPI.
Oh, wow.
Well, hey. Speaking of that, Everyday Astronaut just tweeted, or posted, whatever. We pushed the start of our stream back to fire up our generators. There was a major power outage, and it was bad enough to drain our battery back up. So we're working on addressing that and fully recovering before we go on air.
Oof.
That is
Wow.
concerning.
Oof.
That's crazy.
Yeah, luckily all of our cameras are powered by little hamsters
doing
running
great.
on wheels. So we're doing
Yes.
okay.
We have tiny hamsters out of the pad.
Tiny hamsters, otherwise known as perigee.
Correct.
We've actually just got him running on a wheel.
just-
It's working
Oh,
fairly
no,
well
Oh,
so
no.
far.
Yeah, no. Really, I mean, God, I have knee surgery soon. Man, it's just cruel and inhumane, you know?
Just a couple more kilowatt hours, man. Just a couple more kilowatt
Exactly. Oh, man. Just got to keep going.
You're almost
just
done.
5 more kilowatt hours, man.
You're almost done.
hours.
A few more
Right.
super chats. You'll get through it.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't give the stream any
well,
ideas.
Yeah.
Hamster cam.
Well, since we have actually a rather large list of topics about Starship V2 that we've seen, you guys want to go over some of them?
Shall we talk about
the
Starship?
changes?
That might be wise.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I'm not really
We should be
feeling it.
Yeah, we should be talking about Starship on the Starship stream, I think.
That's
Maybe.
That's true.
Sure.
Well, what would you like to start with, my good perigee? What's on the menu for today, sir?
Well, let's just start off with talking about something we can see here. We've already discussed this, but you can see all those divots in the heat shield. These are exposing the ablative underlayer, which is a new feature on the Block 2 ship. It shows this ablative underlayer. It's given it's essentially like a second heat shield for Starship, not a second Starship, obviously. It's much stronger. It keeps it in place in case of burn throughs, and overall it just adds a lot of redundancy to the ship to make sure that everything comes back fine. We also have some catch points on this ship if anyone would like to take that.
Do we have any cats?
Yeah, so these catch points on this particular ship are not structural. They're more or less just designed to jet out to see how they will perform in the plasma flow on reentry. Now there are pretty credible rumors and evidence to support the fact that they might be trying to catch the next flight. So depending on how this flight goes, we could very well see. 35 does have those structural catch points. We could very well see a catch as early as Flight 9.
That'll be
Yeah.
nice.
It'd be exciting.
We should also note that changes to the launch license and changes to, and well, not changes, a recent application by SpaceX detailed various different trajectories that the ship could take upon re-entry. It was quite interesting. Quite interesting. Points to a catch next flight, which of course, come back, tune in. We'll be taking care of that for you.
I've got a nice view here as well of the catch points that we just discussed. They are just massive kind of hunks of structure slapped onto the side, and the amount of weight that's going to be placed on those in actual flight, pretty crazy.
Yeah, there was a quite a debate online a while ago whether the catch points would be either deployable to like fold into the body and be protected from the heat shield, or whether they would just be massive and structural catch points on the side. And of course, the arguments went back and forth as arguments do, but it appears that SpaceX has chosen to make sure that they're structural and one piece. Some reasons for that could just be like designing a mechanism to hold that weight might be too complex, too annoying to manufacture. And if Starship is meant to be, of course, rapidly reusable, then just making sure that mechanism is completely reliable all of the time might just create failure points. And when you're talking about thousands and thousands of flights a year, 0.5% more failures is 5 Starships exploding per year. That's not great. So
Yeah, a lot of the design aspects of Starship focus on reducing the cost of mass to orbit and increasing launch cadence as much as possible. And sometimes that does mean actually taking decisions that impact your performance. Losing a ship is much, much worse than having a couple tons less payload capacity. If they can accept a slightly draggier Starship that's a lot more reliable, they will take it, especially since constant maintenance seriously destroys launch cadence, especially when you've got a rocket that's this big. If you think about how often aeroplanes are serviced, that's not often at all. They only have small walkarounds after every flight and larger services, in kind of regular intervals. That's the kind of goal that Starship is trying to achieve, which is a little bit insane, but it might be plausible.
And you mentioned about the cost, of a reusable ship. Elon was just on Rogan's podcast and talked about how if they are able to make this rapidly reusable, it will reduce the cost of going to space on Starship by, I think he said 100 times. And if they can, continue that, it will even decrease further up to 1,000th of what it costs now to do this.
Yeah, and this is something that industry partners are aware of as well. They do think it's credible. This isn't some kind of insane Elon Musk saying. I actually I attended a lecture recently from Airbus where they talked about mega constellations and how even today with today's rockets, mega constellations are plausible, with massive groups of satellites in low Earth orbit. Amazon's constellation is very plausible, Starlink is very plausible and is working. But when we start to see heavy lift and we start to see mass to orbit, the price of mass to orbit reducing massively, we're going to see tens of thousands of satellites and so many orbital shells and so many companies that exist solely to work in orbit. They'll be launched by Starship and they will work only in orbit. They'll do on-orbit maintenance, servicing, they'll push payloads out to different orbits. It's opening up an entirely new space economy. And it's for that reason that all of us are so invested heavily in Starship. Even if you're not a fan of SpaceX, there is just such capacity and such capability that a platform like this unlocks.
Exactly. Well put.
Quick note for everyone in chat: Propellant load is set to begin in half an hour, so that will be a big sign of commit to flight today. We're pretty sure that they've committed to fly today. We don't think there's a scrub. Everything seems to be running nominally from SpaceX at this point. We're gonna have quite a show.
Does anyone have any figures on just how much fuel is actually getting loaded onto Block 2? I know it has changed.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Um,
interesting.
one of the
On ship
biggest.
alone, it's something like 250 tons more. So we're looking at over 5.25 kilotons
That's
on the full
250
stack.
tons more. Which is
Correct.
just unreasonable.
That's
It's
crazy.
insane.
250 tons more. Just for context, that's about half the entire fueled weight of an entire Falcon 9.
No big
And
deal.
just for some more context here, the Airbus A320, which is a fairly decently sized aircraft, has a maximum takeoff weight of 77 tons.
It's
Wow.
a big.
This-
It's a big
yeah,
boy.
so this is an awful lot of A320s that's being shoved out through the bottom through this kind of beautiful cacophony of flames and smoke. It's kind of insane. Rocketry at this scale presents so many strange failure modes, and that's part of why we saw an incident with last flight.
Yeah. Other things you might note that one of the bigger things about Block 2, sorry, is that it is longer than Block 1. And one of the biggest reasons for this, you can see it's only one ring taller, so it doesn't look that much taller. One of the biggest differences between Block 1 and Block 2 is that you can see the dome and everything has changed so that there's much less of the payload section left and there's much more of the fuel section now. While this reduces the ability of the ship to carry a bunch more high volume payload, but it does allow for the ship to carry somewhere between 100 and 150 tons to low Earth orbit, which is something that they were much less confident in before.
I do have to say, I do feel
Butter
sorry
stream
for
for
all of the.
good.
Perfect. I do feel sorry for all of the companies right now who are designing payloads that are super large to fit in Starship's bay and having to change their schematics every week or so.
Yes. Of course, the excellence of the Starship Payload User Guide, which hasn't been updated in so many years.
Oh, user guide, man.
Yeah. Question: does anybody know if there is a fun decal on ship this time or no?
I did see
Ooh.
on Twitter there is a mini dragon behind one of the flaps.
I believe
think
it's the
on-
left flap,
I
the
think
front
it's
left
on
flap.
this ship.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun!
Do we have
It's
a?
one of my favorite parts. I would like to see an image of that somewhere. I will go to Twitter.
If we can get if we can get an image of that up on the stream, that would be cute.
Yeah. There is no big decal this time. I don't even think it has the numerical marking that
Interesting.
33 and all others have. I don't think there's a 34 painted on this ship. I think
There is?
yeah, I don't think it does. I think the same happened on ship 29. Have any numerical detail, but no decal.
For some strange reason, those decals seem to be a very last-minute addition, and when they have to rush the ship out of there, they just skip over that.
True.
We do have actually the space engineer kind of commenting behind the scenes, and he's telling us these are metal plates and they're actually part of the structure. It's a fun Easter egg, but it's on all of them, so they are just having fun with the actual structural elements. It's pretty cute.
Yeah. Man, this does not feel real. I mean, just less than 24 hours ago, we saw that the ship was just being rolled out of the mega bay. It just happened. There was almost no warning. It's been less than 24 hours since it rolled out of the mega bay, and now it's going to launch. I mean, again, we were talking about rapid reuse and reflight before, but just a demonstration of it this early is just incredible. It's just rolled out, stacked, it's on the pad, and we're going to see it launch. It is phenomenal. It's incredible. Someone else in the chat has noticed that the ship is venting and that there are noises, so incredible. It's going. It is. Oh, you can see it.
Yeah. Take a look at the bottom
It's
right of the
going.
actual ship. You'll see some off-gas in there. Awesome.
Oh man, that's cool.
Incredible. We're going today, ladies and gents.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
That is a good sign.
It's very much a good sign.
Hey team, I have a quick question.
What's up, Joey?
Should I fly the drone over there to where the blimp might be?
No. No, you should not do that.
I don't see why not.
Because I think anything flying over there is going to freak them out right now. But I mean, you can send it.
Yeah, no, maybe let's not salt the wound, shall we?
I think the last thing we need is to get sent a $10 million invoice in the.
Thank you, Blue, in the chat for the $5. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to be very, very.
Blue sends their regards.
We will. All right.
Was that say something?
Hussein
I
is
just want to be
asking
very
if we
clear
can
here.
speed up. Okay, go ahead, Joey.
Sorry, that is me. I just want to be very clear here. IGW does not violate TFRs.
No,
we're going to be careful.
Yeah, we do not engage in illegal activities.
Indeed.
Do not do crime.
Yeah, TFRs are
Do not do
TFRs are
crimes.
serious business. There's a reason you're seeing so many drone companies developing software just to show people where TFRs are. During the wildfires in America over the past few months, the amount of people who are flying drones and had basically local bits of airspace shut down was awful. And there was actually a drone colliding with a tanker aircraft that put it out of service for a while as well. So if you do own a
interesting
drone,
note.
please do be careful with them.
Interesting note on that. I know it's unrelated, but you brought it up. The one that hit that tanker plane. The pilot of that, I made a podcast episode about this. The pilot of that happened to be the founder of Triarch Entertainment, the gaming company. Just a little Easter egg for you.
What did they make?
Spider-Man. Yeah, the Spider-Man movie game.
These guys.
Triarch.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Creators of Black Ops and Call of Duty Zombies.
Oh yeah, no big deal. Yeah,
No big
the
deal.
founder of Triarch is the guy that flew that drone that hit that plane.
Clever Girl says in the chat, ship is leaking, Jova. It's true. They forgot to plug the holes inside of the ship. They're not
It's
all
over. It's over.
It's over.
Hey, can you guys speed up the countdown? Someone says in chat. Unfortunately, we wish just as much as you.
Does anyone have any supermassive black holes they can put near to space?
Yeah, exactly. If you are in possession of a supermassive black hole, please feel free to donate it. We will find a good use for it here at Interstellar Gateway.
It's a worrying sentence.
Interstellar Gateway.
Hey, look, Interstellar, right? Interstellar Gateway, Interstellar the movie. All right, we can have our own black hole, right? It's on theme. It's on theme.
So you can afford that, right?
We've just had an interesting question in the chat from Space Bullshit. I think we could turn into a poll. What part of the flaps do you think will have issues today?
Interesting. What do we think, gang?
I don't know. I think we might have a tiny bit of burn on the front. I don't think there'll be much.
Tiny bit.
I think we'll be okay.
I think
just a little heating,
Well, actually, I don't think we're going to see many issues with the front at all today. Because if you might notice, just by looking at the ship, Emily, if we can pan up a little bit, the new flaps on the ship are 160 degrees apart. 160, 140, I do not remember. It's a little bit less than 100, a little bit. You know what I mean. They are separated further from the leeward, so they're slightly further back, and therefore they're going to have less issues with that joint today during flight. So actually, I don't think we're going to have any issues with the forward flaps at all. I think we'll have issues with the afts, actually. They're going to be working harder to keep the ship upright. More control authority has gone to them now.
I don't know. I'm not quite trusty of designing that new flange that's more forward placed. I always thought the forward flanges were weird, and we'll see. Maybe the rears might struggle a little bit more.
You know, it Quantify says maybe, Perigi says no burn through. I'm not normally a pessimist, but for the sake of being a contrarian, I think the flaps are just gonna fall off, guys. It's just you never know.
It might be the day.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
Someone in chat
are just gonna flip upside down.
I love that. Thank you, Stickman. Someone in the chat says, would be cool if there was something that'd pop up on screen so we can know who is talking. Well, Emlyn, not to give you more work in the future, but that might be something we need to look into so that people know who is talking on chat.
Someone says this feels like NSF, but with way less viewers. And you can be the antidote to the way less viewers part by
hitting that share button
on social media. Please go ahead, do that.
Tell your parents, tell your siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell your teacher.
Tell the world.
Tell
your grandpa. Your grandpa talked about
Tell grandpa.
Yeah, spread the news. Spread the news in our
Spread the news. Actually, on second thoughts, I think maybe it's best if my teacher doesn't comment in the chat. I don't want to be reminded of the many years.
They're going to tell you how much late work you have.
True. Dude, aerospace engineering's flooring me, man. I can't do this anymore.
Me too, man.
Are we crashing out?
Yeah, okay. You're an aerodynamics enjoyer. Careful, Mav.
Before we crash,
Don't mingle with your likes. Your feedback.
before we crash out, let's go ahead and get through this launch, okay? Then we can crash out.
There we
Let's
go.
look
Yeah,
through this one.
ain't that the truth? Okay.
No, I got a retweet from Zoisite. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Someone said, "Oops, we just forgot the glue holding the flaps in place." Truly, it's over.
Oh, so unfortunate.
Glue holding all of us together, okay? Okay. We
Yeah,
trust in the
exactly.
flaps.
I'm held
Trust in the
together
flaps.
by epoxy, man.
Agreed.
Glue
I
holding
got
my
wood
sanity
glue,
together.
man. I wood glue over here.
Yeah. There should be a quick note. There apparently are quite a few fake streams. If you see any of those, report them. They always end up showing cryptocurrency and shit. Report them if you see them.
Disgusting.
Yeah, what they will do is they will rerun historical flights and try and gain viewers thinking it's the official stream, and then they'll segue it to an AI-generated video of Elon Musk talking about his brand new hit cryptocurrency, which is almost it's what they generally do is they have a website and they say if you send us 2 Bitcoin, we'll send you 4 back. And
yeah.
unfortunately, they don't send you 4 back.
No.
Yeah.
And then
They
you
send you
lose
Who would
your
have thought it?
96,000.
Unfortunately, it does work, and it's oddly effective. So, would you
we
look at
have-
that? The wonders of magical internet technology. We have a poll up on your screen. You may vote electronically now. What do you think the flaps will have issues with today? So we've got hinges, burn through, leading edge, or the ships won't reach re-entry.
Okay, I'm voting
Really
my.
pessimistic fourth choice. Why do you include that?
Yeah. No. Ew.
Dude,
Ew.
Not gonna
You
lie.
never know.
It's a
Oh,
possibility.
just
You can never
re-entry.
rule it out.
Oh, this is fun to watch live as it goes, as it ticks up.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
hinges,
for getting
guys.
involved in this. This is fun.
hinges and leading
Mm-hmm.
edge. People are pessimistic about those. As 25% think it's not going to reach re-entry. Dude, what are you doing?
Oof. Come on now.
Awful.
Wow.
I think
Jinxing
everyone
our
has
mission.
I think everyone has PTSD, which is post-traumatic starship disorder.
Sounds like
We're just scared. Just
Accurate.
scared. Okay.
I remember I was watching Flight 1 live, and oh my god, why did it do that? Why did it do somersaults, man?
Oh
Oh
man.
wow.
It was
Yeah, no,
stress.
that was
Thinking of that.
hypersonic backflips, everybody.
Not quite hypersonic.
Not quite, but
Nearly.
it reminds me of when
Near hypersonic backflips. Yes.
those
It just felt like doing it.
Those backflips remind me greatly of when Felix Baumgartner skydived from space and did all of those tumble somersaults. Oh my
dude,
goodness.
those were horrifying.
Those were
I'm sorry.
horrifying. I got to chat with him after that, and I interviewed him and asked him several questions, including how many times did you have to pee on ascent?
Pretty cool person to interview. That's pretty cool.
18-year-old me had no media training, so I was like, how many
18?
times do you have to pee, my guy? Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
you've been around.
I have indeed.
I've got about a month left of being 18, and I'm spending it by hating aerospace engineering and sleeping.
That's what you're supposed to do at 18, my friend.
True. Okay, I'm very glad that Ship Won't Reach Re-Entry has just narrowly lost out by 3% to Hinges. We've got 29 votes, and plenty more watching. Guys, do vote on that poll. I'm kind of curious. What do you think's going to go wrong?
Okay.
We are also under an hour and a half away. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Are we
Hopefully we're
hyped,
seeing-
chat?
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
Get
I'm
hyped.
hyped.
Hopefully-
Very hyped.
hopefully
Exciting
we're gonna
thing
see
since my
launch.
pizza arrived earlier today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, veterans of last stream will know that I had hot cross buns. Unfortunately, they're out of stock this time. So I don't have any kind of mid-launch snacks.
Are you telling me there's been a run on the hot cross buns?
I'm
My
telling you
God.
there's been a run on the hot cross buns.
What are we
some
gonna do?
crook's been scheming against me. It's not acceptable.
No hot
They're
cross
popular
buns and
since you.
eggs are expensive.
Honestly.
My God.
Oh, eggs are so cheap here. I can get 24 eggs for like £4
You-
from Costco. It's
You
great.
mail me some eggs so that I can sell them on the street corner?
Interstellar Eggway.
Yeah.
There we go. A new one.
Starship point-to-point egg delivery.
Oh lord.
Hell yes.
That's what they're really testing today is the point to point.
Exactly.
Lewis says I want there to be an
Exactly.
option for no failure. I feel like
Lock
we're
in.
we're gonna hope for the best but expect the worst. As we do quite often.
Way.
That's the way it's always been.
Lewis is asking, do I have crumpets? Unfortunately, I don't at this time, Lewis, I'm afraid. I never was a crumpet person. Always thought they were strange and oily. John T is talking about hot cross buns in Norfolk. I feel we may be alienating the entire American
Yeah,
population with
no
hot
one
cross
knows what
buns
you're talking about right now.
crumpets.
That
It's a
sounds like
shame.
a jump.
Look,
It sounds like a jump rope game. Okay.
I mean, hot cross
Those
buns,
who-
isn't that song that you play in elementary school with the recorder?
Yeah, when you're jumping rope, right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
would you believe
exactly.
it? They actually wrote that song about a real life food.
No,
Those who do not know
no.
what hot cross buns are, it is a travesty to me.
Wait, I'm
People do not
googling
know what
hot
they are.
cross bun.
Hot cross buns.
Oh, it's like
Can
a
we
waffle
Could
pretzel
we
donut.
mail? Can we mail 1 million hot cross buns to the United States of America just so they can understand what we're on about?
Oh, that would crash
pay
the hot cross
the-
buns market. You can't do that.
We'll pay the import
True.
tax. Okay. Give me a hot cross bun.
Starship point-to-point eggs. That is a brand new sentence.
I see nothing wrong with it.
Listen, here on Interstellar Gateway, we are truly inventing the next great innovations here.
That's like making a song called Big Mac. True.
So,
Yeah, but at least the the Brits and the folks over in the UK name things after what the thing looks like. At least, like, I just looked up a hot cross bun. It has like a cross on the top of it. It makes sense.
I was reading about American infrastructure recently, and I learned that some of
You
you call
are
roundabouts.
crazy.
You call roundabouts traffic circles. What is a
I
traffic
hate it.
circle?
I don't know.
I
Traffic.
lived
have
over-
hate it.
never heard that before.
I lived
what?
overseas. I love a roundabout, but I will say, when I was in Wales in November, why do you put them in the middle of the freeway? You're going like 80 kilometers per hour, and then suddenly have to slow down to hit a roundabout.
Yeah, in the
It's
UK,
insane.
on many of those like big roads, we actually have roundabouts every couple miles on roads
Stupid.
that are 70-mile-an-hour roads. It is pretty awful for
Stupid.
fuel economy.
It's awful for
anyway,
fuel
let's,
economy and motion sickness. But sorry, go ahead. Back.
Shall we talk about Starship? Shall we talk
That is
about-
a good idea. We're getting distracted.
I think let's talk a little bit about Starship. We've got 1 hour 24 minutes to go here for the second launch of Block 2. Of course, last launch. So, if in case you're joining us late, last launch did end pretty catastrophically for Block 2 Starship. They ended up having a resonance issue down in the attic, so just around where the engines are housed. If you're not familiar, resonance is essentially when you've got loads of different vibrations cascading and compounding on one another. Their waves end up adding, and you get these massive motions that can tend to break things. So what SpaceX is hypothesizing is that there was a leak somewhere that started, and the pressure started increasing, and eventually it led to a loss of a vehicle. Just the pressure rising too high and fire starting and all of that stuff. They didn't have enough venting capacity to deal with it. They've increased the amount of venting on this version of Block 2, and they've also trialed some new pipes that hopefully will resonate a little bit less. Unfortunately, vibration is a massive issue with these spacecraft. It's less prominent on liquid-fueled engines, but it's still very, very significant.
Liquid rockets, of course, have their own problem. There's water hammer and all sorts of tricky things. There are trade-offs, but
Turns out when you move a lot of fluid mass very, very quickly down narrow pipes, they can do some strange things. Every kind of different form of propulsion has its own massive consequences. Solid rocket boosters create such awful vibrations that you have to build a really strong structure to hold them. And it can be a very uncomfortable ride for astronauts. If you read about how astronauts flying on Falcon 9 compared to rockets with solid rocket boosters talk about their flights, it's very obvious that they prefer Falcon.
yeah. Solids will get you there, but they will shake you to your core.
Ship engines look worryingly rusty. They do just look like that. They aren't all corroding themselves to death, thankfully.
Yeah. That is, weirdly enough, an anti-corrosion coating that's causing that. That's just from the engine. That's just from the extended static fire.
That super chat we just got looks like they're trying to start a freestyle rap. I'm here for it.
Interstellar on my gateway to like Starship Flight 8 Live. Like, can we have like 10 minutes without one of these awful substitution phrases? Please. Thank
Listen.
you for the donation.
I am losing my mind.
I am. And he's not even drinking, mind you. What happened?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Okay, so we've still got an hour 21 minutes to go, and the Scotsman has begun cereal drinking.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
We're not going to make it to T0.
Wow. Just
I
a
think
bit of
we-
quick news. Good
Parajit,
Sorry, go ahead.
The road closure, the roadblock is moving down the road, so sign that launch is still on for today, despite some potentials.
Yes, we were tracking.
people worried.
We were tracking a little bit of worry with wind gusts getting rather high, but it does look like the roads are still shut as we'd expect them to be, and they are closing off perfectly. So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll be flying.
when they
still.
said when they said roadblock moving, I thought it meant like they're getting rid of the roadblock, and now thank you guys for clarifying. Because
Yeah,
I was
same
like,
here.
my,
oh,
my heart did sink for a second there.
Yeah,
Um,
I panicked.
Oh,
Well,
we
really
also
quick,
looking-
crayons with the $2. She substitute on my phrase till
Oh,
I
God.
cringed. Thank
We've
you
reached a
so
level
much for
of
that.
like post-meta irony that
Here
I
we
don't
are.
even understand it anymore.
There
These
is no joke.
sentences
We're
just
just
don't make
saying
sense.
things now. There's no joke anymore.
And by Flight 8 Live, let's just say my peanuts. That doesn't even convey any information. There's no information that's been conveyed. We found the least efficient form of communication.
Incredible. We're
What's
really
the over-under?
here.
What's the over under on prop load in 5 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
5 minutes? Pretty low. Probably begins a little bit later than that, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say.
Okay. Well. I guess
Just
we're
a
gonna
moment.
get that focused on the SQD soon, eventually. But we are now hour 20 away from flight.
With a really
Moving
nice
down.
view.
I think that's the subcoolers, right? Subcoolers on the farm acting up. I'm not sure. I'm not that much of a tank watcher.
They have added
don't
some
know
more
what's going on.
I think they've added
Kay,
more.
sorry, I just wanted to add to that. We're about 5 minutes out from prop load go being given by the flight director. Prop load starts at about 46 minutes.
Copy. Appreciate it.
And speaking of which, $2 from crayons, and by prop load, of course I mean my propellants.
Incredible.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
Are we just really like summarizing what's going on now through
With those-
vague,
with those
unified
phrases.
speak?
But with donations, so we'll take them.
Yeah, exactly.
the
Oh
internet.
no. Oh man, no. Actually, we don't know. We don't know what happens when all the propellant. Please tell us in the form of a super chat.
Preferably.
Are they,
Preferably, yes.
they're still transporting propellant to the launch site with just 1 million tankers, aren't they?
I don't
doing
know. You'd
something
have to
different now.
you'd have to pan over the camera, the PTZ, over to the tank farm area, but more to see. But
Because I
potentially,
remember back in the day we'd see convoys of tankers just
Oh, yeah.
rolling up. It was awful,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
horrifying.
it's wild when you're standing out there and they're just coming at you.
Yeah,
Even then, these flights aren't tremendously environmentally damaging because there's one thing that these engines are very good at, which is burning fuel efficiently. So
Yes, there we
you don't
go.
really get many harmful side effects.
Now we are looking at the tank farm a bit more, which is great. Thank you for panning that over. But of course, the concrete wall is blocking our view of where those tanker trucks would be, which is just on the other side of those tanks.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't quite have the budget yet for X-ray
We'll get there.
cameras.
We'll get
So
there. We'll
we're
get there.
working on it. Yeah, we're working on it.
Exactly.
Oh,
Speaking
$2.
of funding, thank you, No Smaj 304L for the $2 saying, Mr. G, the posting will never end. Incredible.
Mr. G now?
Thank you.
Is that what you're called, Perry G? I'm guessing that's
Yeah,
what you're
apparently.
called.
People call me Mr. G.
Mr. G. That's quite a good
Mr.
name to
G.
be there. You
Mr.
could have had
G.
worse. You could have had
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Is it like a mafia
definitely-
name?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sounds.
I'm
It sounds
Mr.
like
G.
sounds like you're replacing Mr. Hahn in Linkin Park as their DJ. Mr. G. And I'm here for that.
Mr. G.
Mr.
No,
G.
I'm Walter White, dude. Mr. G. Mr. White.
Yes.
Mr. G.
Logan says, I think we have a slight delay. SpaceX stream start has delayed to start at 4:59, 10-minute delay, I think.
Okay. Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
Let's check
Okay, well,
SpaceX
that's
on
We
X.
will have a look at
Thankfully,
that now.
SpaceX does have a pretty
you.
sizable window.
Yeah.
Do they? But our cameras, do they have a sizable window?
It's likely it may not have been a flight delay, and it's more likely a stream delay. They tend to be pretty
Right.
rigid of the countdowns.
I do see that 4:59 p.m. Switch.
Okay.
Had,
Well,
regrettably,
quick
we've
note.
had $2 from crayons, Who up pumping with their tank farm? I can confirm at this point, SpaceX will soon be pumping with their tank
Correct.
farm.
Okay. Quick note, just because I think Mr. Engineer in the back rooms is going to murder me. He said in a series of flurried messages with several spelling errors, it's not delayed. This has been said for hours. This is normal. It's there. Okay, there is no delay.
You forgot his
I can confirm
Sorry,
he proceeded
sorry.
to scream after that message. So yeah, just to reiterate, SpaceX are quite rigid with their countdowns. They won't delay unless they really have to. It looks
Yes.
still
Right.
standard.
Mr. G, we need to cook remote cameras. That is what Starship is saying, this launch. How many
Listen,
bets?
For the sake of
What
the other
bets?
115 viewers, can we use more comprehensible language?
This is true. This is true. This is true. Well, if you guys have any other actual questions that you'd like us to answer, we would be more than happy. We'd be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, we have still got a good hour until we properly switch over to the webcast. So do keep chatting, do keep asking us stuff. We are happy to answer.
Very true.
We are here for your enjoyment.
Oh, it is
Yep.
prop load go no go time. Let's keep an eye on the SpaceX account.
If Starship becomes chilly, then it'll be a good sign.
Yeah.
What do we got in the
Okay.
back room?
We've just
We
got
have,
word that the SpaceX 737 is en route.
Let's go.
Wow.
I say that
Very
in
good.
route, but all right, here we are.
It's
Alrighty.
Okay.
I don't know.
Semantic.
That's how I've been taught how to say it.
en route. It's a conjugation of two words. On.
You
and
guys
route.
did come up with the language, so you're probably
It's
right.
like en passant.
Exactly.
Let's say
Exactly.
on.
Oh,
Right. You're right.
well.
American defeated. A good day.
Oh, I mean, you guys made
Yippee.
you originated the language, so how can I argue?
That's actually fairly humble of you. Remember,
We
you
are
know.
currently nearing the time when the propellant let go no go will be given, so we should
keeping an eye on
hopefully
SpaceX.
start seeing things here shortly.
Gloopy asking, is Elon Musk going to be in the Cybertruck on this flight? I don't know where exactly Elon Musk is. I'm going to presume he's not inside Starship.
Hmm.
That
You never
would
be too sure.
Yeah,
too
don't
sure.
think that would be generally ideal conditions.
I do
You
admit
think Elon
the
is all-
actually, I'll tell you what, little game for chat. Does anyone remember what interesting payload was put on a recent Starship flight? Suspended by wires. Not a
Oh, I know the
question
answer.
for
I know.
I know you know the answer. I know you know the answer, but who
We
remembers
should
the
put we
interesting
should put a
payload?
poll. We should put a poll up with different options for them to vote what it was.
That might be a good point, actually.
Oh,
would be
thank you,
fun.
Kerbalistic.
I have a
$1.
better
What
idea.
money?
As to that question to chat, wrong answers only.
Oh, wrong answers
Okay.
only. Yes, Miranda.
Wrong
Oh
answers
my
only.
God.
Keep it PG for the love of God.
Thank you. Kerbalistic, $1 super chat.
Oh my God.
Saying, I'm broke, so you only get $1. Don't worry. Thank you. Their first ever super chat on a live stream. So thank you very, very much for deciding we, of course, were the worthy ones. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
every little does help. If the entire population of Earth donated $1, we'd have enough money to buy like billions of cameras. We'd be good.
We could probably buy
Not
SpaceX.
billions, millions.
No,
could
we
buy
could
SpaceX.
buy the camera manufacturer. We'd
We
be
could
great.
buy a Starship. Imagine how cool
could.
that'd be.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
Obnoxious logos.
We could just interstellar gateway a Starship. Let's go.
True.
Paint it with our logo and everything. I think that's a great idea.
It's away.
30 minutes out from propellant loading on the ship beginning underway, and about the same amount for booster. So stick around. We'll be getting to see the tank farm starting to wake up and have some fun there.
Jellybean, you have said the greatest payload that was on the previous flight, which was socks. Very good.
True. True.
I bet they put a mini. I bet they put a mini Starship inside the Starship.
They must.
Great idea.
They must.
It's so meta.
Fire was the payload on Flight 6.
I mean, you're not
not
wrong.
wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Flight 7, the payload was explosions.
Yes. Oh man.
They debuted a new one where they carried that payload in the aft skirt.
It did look pretty though. I'll tell you what, that was a
Exactly.
pretty
By the way,
explosion, man.
just a quick scale comparison here. We're zoomed in quite tight on these PTZ, so it's very easy to forget just how big this Starship stack is. As I recall, Block 2 stack size is somewhere in the region of being 120 meters tall. An Airbus A380, which is the grandest, most incredible commercial airliner in the world, absolutely giant, 73 meters long. So this thing is almost 2 A380s in length. I mean, if you've seen one of those in person, you can kind of put that into perspective. It is an insanely large thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember flying on an A380, and
Oh, it was so nice when I flew on one.
yeah,
I
they-
actually
they're
got to see one
huge.
take off from Dulles today.
Wow.
They're really they're actually making a little bit of a comeback now. More operators are starting to bring them on, which is great.
Incredible. Someone from
Yeah,
chat. Someone from chat. The payload data MFs when the data explodes.
True.
Incredible. Truly
True.
Flight 7. Uh-oh. Shoot.
I don't like an uh-oh. Why are we uh-ohing?
That's concerning.
Wait, what? Where? What?
Oh, he's gone.
What's concerning? Why are we all acting like nuclear missiles have just been launched? What
Oh,
have we
what's
missed?
going on?
What's happened?
Where?
It's all over.
Somebody say
Perigee just
something.
got raptured. Oh,
They've
okay.
taken
So, Perigee's computer just blue screened, so we may
so,
be missing it for a little bit.
We
If,
suspect
if I ha-
ULA
if I have-
snipers have upgraded their sniper attacks.
We've
This
now
is,
DDoSing.
This is a bit of lore that I'm not sure if anybody watching now would actually know, but the Flight 5 stream, which I believe has been raptured from the internet, that me and Perigee did, just before the stream was scheduled to go live, his computer did blue screen. That was the reason for the delay to that particular stream. So if I had a nickel for every time Perigee's computer acted up during a IGW live stream, I would have 2 nickels.
There
Oh,
we
you
go.
could
My,
also
my
Come
computer
back.
Almost
blue
buy
screen
him-
during the last stream, I think.
Sorry, fellas. The blue screen of
Okay,
death
bye.
has come for me once again. Don't worry, my computer restarts extremely quickly.
It is always really
That's
well
just-
timed.
It just happens. It just happens every other Sunday. Perigee is. Everyone's saying Paragon in chat. No, wrong. Paragon.
Paraback. Parasobac.
Marketing team will
Exactly.
invest in
Exactly. You
infrastructure.
get it. You get it.
We've got a good
Right.
point here from Joshua Ford. I think I need to convince Joey Leal that I need for streaming an RTX 5080, a Ryzen 9 5900X, 200 gigabytes of RAM at least.
For sure.
I think we really need I think we all need big screen VRs, you know? I think we all need
Yeah.
4K monitors. This is just going to
Metaverse
improve
streaming
efficiency.
capabilities.
I
Building
need
up the
to be able
infrastructure.
to. We need to be able to have enough PTZs out at the pad so that everyone on stream can individually remote control their own PTZ while they're watching the live.
That is a great
To make
idea.
sure- to make sure I can
Joey-
make it to my home on time so I can do the live streams, I will need a Volvo XC90 2025.
Oh yes.
Joey, I'm putting it into
Another-
our gear request list for.
Volvo XC90.
Another word from our good friend Joey, from a SpaceX employee. Apparently, SpaceX is trying to optimize fuel usage. Sounds interesting.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
He says
Okay. Well.
interesting.
Going away from that, moving on to some of the other things that we've able to see on the Block 2 ship. We have, as you can see up above that SQD ring, there's a ring of stringers, which are these nice thin metal bars, which strengthen the skirt of the ship and make sure everything is rigid. Now the oh god, Jesus. They used to be a well doubler, which was a metal plate which would cover the ship. You could see these on like Ship 31, other stuff like that. And we now can see oh shoot, from chat, there's a tower vent. Emlyn, if you'd like to burst out and focus on the tower,
Might be
that
possible to
apparently
take
there's
a
a
look.
tower event.
Robin is asking
sorry.
why. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Yes, Mr. Engineer, there are stringers under the well doubler. I am aware, though, yes, they removed the doubler plate. However, for the average viewer, this does not...
Perigi is receiving many angry messages
getting yelled at.
demanding 100%
I
correct
got space engineers in my DM.
the space engineer himself. If you don't know who he
Uh,
is, he publishes a bunch of super cool animations and 3D renderings. Do take a look at
Exactly.
it sometime. There is some cool stuff.
Okay,
in there.
yes. There is a tower event going on, and
Awesome.
the tank farm continues to spool up. So we are seeing quite a few things, going on.
For those of you who aren't really acquainted with the lingo here, there is obviously a massive amount of propellant that needs to get pumped into Starship. That propellant's contained in giant tanks. That's what we refer to as the tank farm. Now, all of the infrastructure to get that propellant from the tanks into the Starship is actually super complicated. You've got to make sure it remains cool, it remains compressed, so we can get as much fuel in as possible. And that means you've got to have a bunch of really good compressors, really good pumps, and really well-optimized feed lines. Those are coming all the way to the tower, which is then pushing them into the Starship. If we see venting out of the tower, that means that there is going to be propellant flowing, so it is a really good sign for prop load.
Yeah.
Wow. Here from Crayons. I don't even want to read this.
Because of its venting, Kranz has said, when the tower is stuffed. Please.
Emlyn, that shot is beautiful, man. You're killing that. That's
That
a
is
sick,
nice.
sick
That is
shot,
tidy.
man.
Wonderful.
So somebody
Right, well,
was
we are-
asking about.
I'm glad to see the clouds.
Yeah, the clouds are moving. Somebody asked about why one of the SpaceX planes would be going back to Houston. Looks like somebody is on the flight tracker. We don't know, just cause. And then Leo said, "When are you going to watch that ISS video?" I don't know
Oh
what
yes,
that's.
soon. It is
Okay.
coming. It is
There
coming.
is context here. So a while ago, we discovered a really strange video that basically claimed that the International Space Station was like an occult, like ritual or something, like an occult device. And it was multiple hours, and it was called de-occulting the International Space Station. It's just some guy discussing it.
Multiple hours?
Yeah, so
Yes.
I made the grave mistake of saying it'd be quite funny if we reached like a good amount of donations that maybe we could even watch this in the future. And immediately money started rolling in. Which
Count
was
me
awesome.
in. That
So
sounds incredible.
we are going to have to watch that and get some analysis going. But in the meanwhile, we'll be trying to figure out some kind of viewer engagement so we can keep ourselves busy. Maybe viewers can put stuff up on screen or something.
That's amazing. I would love to watch that with y'all. That sounds great.
I don't know how I'm going to survive it. It will be interesting.
Yeah.
Dude.
Likely very quickly after the stream that we're going to do for, I believe this is, we're probably going to cover Intuitive Machines IM2, and probably maybe a stream or two after that is when it will happen. Fazy in chat says Occult ISS versus Pure Christian Tiangong. Truth Nuke?
Brand new
Truth
sentence.
Nuke, I think.
Brand new sentence. There's another one.
Yep, that is a sentence that's
That's
never been
straight-
said before.
Straight bangers in the Interstellar
Also,
Gateway.
if you guys ever do get a chance to go out to Brownsville to hang out before a launch, there are a lot of really incredible people and creators out there. There are dogs out there that like to surf and hang out at Starbase. Astro being the dog I am mentioning, a beautiful golden retriever. But there are also some amazing painters and people that are making some really cool content around what's happening at Starbase. So if you guys do ever get a chance to go down there, I highly recommend.
I've just got a couple things to note here. First of all, we have Werner von Kerman in chat.
Oh,
incredible!
The Werner von Kerman?
That is the Werner von Kerman.
Wow.
From the R&D complex of Kerbal Space Program. Very good to have you here, sir. And also, to the person who mentioned GOES and seeing some clouds drifting, you may have been correct because we are now starting to see it clear up, and you can see we're starting to get some nice reflections off of that stainless steel body.
Kepler X said, "Are there cats?" I have met a Starbase cat. Yes, actually.
Oh my God.
On flight 6, I believe it was. A fella had his cat out with him, and his cat was on a leash, just riding on his shoulders. It was quite a sight to see a cat out there, and I was like, "Oh, the world is your litter box right now. It's just all sand dunes out there." So, or cats.
Cats are exactly the type of animal to be completely nonchalant about a 120-meter tower of death launching before them.
Don't care.
Just don't care. Give me treats.
Well, we're almost an hour out from flight, which is wow. Proceeding nominally 15 minutes about, we're gonna see that propellant load.
Let's go.
Then we will. Then we'll know. Then
we will
And we will know. We'll just give a quick rundown of the flight objectives again for those of you who are joining us a bit later. Welcome, we're Interstellar Gateway. We're covering Starship Flight 8. This is a retrial of Flight 7, which failed somewhat catastrophically due to a leak in the attic area of Starship, which had an explosion after separation. Goals of this flight are pretty simple. It is obviously to get a successful launch of the full stack. The booster is to land and be caught by the chopsticks here at Starbase. The ship is to continue on into a trajectory that's just shy of orbit. It's going to be trialing two things up there. They're going to be trying to relight a Raptor engine to prove that it can safely deorbit itself, and it's going to be deploying a few Starlink mass simulators. Those are basically just to test the deployment mechanism that slots Starlinks out of the side of Starship. And hopefully, if that goes well, we could see Starlink launches in the relatively near future. After that, Starship will be completing a hopefully controlled re-entry and landing burn, and we'll be observing some really interesting re-entry effects that happen. They've shuffled around a lot of tiles. Some tiles have been removed. Some areas have been replaced with an ablative heat shielding technology, which is essentially a backup in case some of the tiles fall off or burn through. So it'll be good to watch the thermal effects that we see there, and hopefully it should make for an interesting launch. Just 59 minutes out now, so do stick around.
Just got a lovely super chat. $10. Thank you for that. Just discovered the channel, and I'm seriously enjoying the commentary. Y'all earned my second screen spot for the foreseeable future. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We do try.
Do we?
No,
we try. No, we try.
We do our best.
If you don't mind me asking, what would earn us your number one spot?
Yeah, exactly. We'd love to know.
What can we do to improve? Do I need to be stood out at the pad during launch for you to get the number one screen spot? Because I am willing.
I think what they actually want
Under the
all
launch
of you.
mount.
I think they want all of you to be muted and for my volume to be increased, of course.
Interesting.
Okay, Quan.
Interesting.
Okay, Quan.
Where are your hot cross buns now, huh?
Oh, come on. That's a low blow, man. That's a low blow. It's messed up.
That doesn't have any snacks, guys. What are we gonna do?
I think.
Having our phone cameras on board would get the number one spot. I mean, we're working on it. I will send several text messages after this flight if it is successful.
Quick note: I think we're seeing I think it's called the water vent on the OLM. Again, I don't know. I'm not a professional tank watcher. I believe, but OLM vent, we are moving into very good times for propellant loading. Things are going excellently.
Yeah, we're seeing some really rapid venting here. If we could possibly pull that up on stream anytime now. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Awesome flow of gas there.
Wow.
Really just excellent things going on. Wow, that is a beautiful view.
Also, the sky is starting to clear up, and we're seeing blue. Holy crap.
Oh my god, what a day.
It hasn't happened in so long.
What a sight.
Yeah.
What is a blue sky? I've never seen it before.
Kerbalistic has suggested we should have our own cams on board.
Yep, that's the move.
So I guess what we got to do is get Perigi to kind of sneak out there and slap on a GoPro with some blue tack.
Listen, if anyone knows a guy who knows a guy,
I definitely know a guy that knows a guy that knows the guy.
For legal purposes, we're not going to be putting GoPros on Starship.
Clearly.
Don't quite have.
I feel like that would be the best GoPro ad after our Flight 5 GoPro ad that is pinned to my X profile that says, "Oh, turns out GoPros are rocket proof."
Dude, GoPros are awesome, man.
Very cool.
I have I'm actually hunting it for right now. I have a Hero 7 Black that has survived too many things.
They are. I mean, they will. It will
No
last.
prediction coming through. It's true. Sedated we need to have you as like the official IGW weatherman.
Indeed.
Honestly, you've done a good job.
We could do a whole weather segment, you know?
That'd be pretty good, actually. We need to have like a crappy green screen where someone just moves their avatar with their mouse.
Exactly.
You know?
I
like
volunteer.
on TikTok, like just bad green screen. That's the move.
Incredible.
Honestly.
Someone said, sedated we, you are the only one we're listening to that's a higher spot than first screen. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're glad we can bring you at least a little bit of joy.
Man, I'm enjoying that secondary shot there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
love that
great,
cropped in
man.
view.
Wow.
Very cool.
Oh my god.
That is something.
Also, for those watching, please continue to share the live stream. The more people that watch these, the better views you will get in the future. So please continue to share, spread the word about what we are doing here at Team Interstellar Gateway. And thank you so much for tuning in. We are very excited for what's to come, not only with this flight, but future flights.
And if you're enjoying this stream so far, sorry, feel free to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, maybe even give us a super chat or donate some memberships. Every little bit helps, and it gets you even better views of flights like this.
I will say, for every pan tilt zoom camera you're seeing on stream right now, there's multiple more which aren't live streaming but are going to be recording, and those are going to have some nice shots. There's only so much data these can capture and live stream to us, but the higher resolution cameras have a bunch of cool little features, and you'll see some great shots.
Yeah, SpaceX. I think we're gonna need Starlink to fix this.
Christ.
Yes. Please.
Starlink fixes this.
Actually, I mean, I do remember. I can't remember who, but someone in the team mentioned they were looking into getting Starlink, didn't they? It is genuinely quite useful out here.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think Joey said he just got it at his personal home, and he said it's great. When I actually, fun fact, last flight, flight 7, I was on the Mexico side for that launch, and got to film from that side, which is, I believe, a bit closer than where Brandon currently is at Raptor Roost. I'm not sure the exact distance, but I know that I was 3.5 miles from the pad, which is insane. It's closer than you can get on the Texas side. So that was a really cool experience and opportunity. But the guy that drove me down there, Alex, he had Starlink in his car mounted up on the sunroof. And so I was able to watch the stream the entire time in Mexico. It was amazing. So I knew what was going on. I knew, everything up to we have lost ship. So that was an incredible opportunity. And being able to have connectivity wherever you need it is vital, especially when we're out in Brownsville, where all the Airbnbs have the cheapest internet you can possibly buy.
Yeah, we've got Werner von Kerman, who apparently lives in the area affected by Hurricane Helen,
North Carolina.
But
Wow.
saved him from no internet. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic tool. As I
Just
mentioned
got in
previously.
the. Go on, Quan.
No, you go on. No, I'll let the Scotsman speak first.
All right. I was just gonna say, I've noticed in chat my flatmate is saying hello to me. Hi, Michael.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Speaking of flatmates, I received a message just now during the stream of my plate broken, and apparently my flatmates managed to drop my sponge thing onto it. I have like a sponge soap auto dispenser and broken my plate. So I'm just watching that evidence while having to commentate. This is awful. This is a crime scene.
It's a travesty.
Maybe if we had more super chats, we could get some more. Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But yeah, part of what I was saying earlier about how super heavy launch vehicles will enable mega constellations. The great thing about Starlink is because it's at such low altitude, you are able to use the same antennas and get much more gain out of them, much more signal. So now we have the opportunity for phones to actually connect to Starlink satellites, because so much of that power is being focused into a smaller area per satellite. That's being rolled out by T-Mobile in the US, and I believe it's being offered for free right now as an emergency service, which is super, super cool. That's
I know they're also
traditional satellite services just don't offer you.
Correct. I know that they're also beta testing it on the iPhones now as well,
which is awesome.
On the new update.
Yeah,
so.
And from Joey here, not only is it through T-Mobile, but if you sign up for the beta, if you have any carrier, if you have a compatible phone, you can try out the beta. Just offering that they're offering it, or awesome that they're offering it to not just T-Mobile customers, but anybody.
Pretty cool. The reason that another one of the reasons that you can't really do this with that super heavy vehicles are making mega constellations reasonable is because they deorbit so much more quickly at lower altitudes. The average Starlink satellite lifespan is really around 5 years. And though that is influenced by how quickly they're iterating, there is also the factor of there being much more atmospheric drag, and they only carry so much more fuel. So these satellites generally don't last as long as the massive satellites in geostationary orbit like Viasat, which serve to provide service over a specific area of the Earth, but much, much further away. You do have to keep launching them. That's an awful lot more affordable when you can put much more mass in orbit, and that's part of Starship's goals. Shortline819 saying, with $5, thank you very much for that, my friend. As they say in the business, incredible things are happening. They are. They are. We're 50 minutes away from hopefully something a bit more incredible.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Even sooner than that, we're about 5 minutes out from prop load and beginning in earnest. I see a lot of OLM venting and gas from the vehicles, but we're about to get liquid flowing very shortly.
Mm.
Yeah, it's getting
Yeah.
spicy. So Data Dwee mentioning how they've had Starlink as their home internet for the past 2 years, and it's much better than their land connection. Awesome. That is where Starlink really shines, not in population centers, but out in the middle of nowhere. So it's good to see that space technology is actually helping.
Yeah,
I'm very
my
curious
own
and-
home
ahead.
is out in the middle of nowhere, in the
Scotland.
very distant Highlands of Scotland, and my dad is actually considering buying Starlink because it is genuinely significantly faster than any terrestrial or whatever network that he can get up there. It's really
Wow.
good.
Tell him to mount the Starlink to a sheep.
Great idea.
That's Wales, not Scotland.
Wait, Scotland has. I've been to Glasgow. They have
Yeah, but
sheep.
Wales is a sheep country.
That's very true.
Yeah,
Scotland's a skirt and Mountain Dew country.
exactly.
And- yes, that's true. You're right.
You can't mix them up.
Okay,
So-
well, apparently, in addition to the current updates, SpaceX has published an update to their Flight 8 updates page in which they begin talking about the Gigabay, and they've provided some new interesting renders. I will wait for, of course, StreamGod Emlyn to pull them up. Quote, the Gigabay in Florida will stand 380 feet tall and provide approximately 46.5 million cubic feet of interior processing space with 815,000 square feet of workspace, include ground level, elevated work platform areas, and a work and meeting space on the top floor. Gigabay will be able to support Starship and super heavy vehicles up to 81 meters, 260 feet, 6 feet tall, and provide 24 work cells. You think about the current megabays, that's about, I think, around 6 work cells, 5, 6 work cells. Don't have it on the top of my head, sorry about that. For integration and refurbishment work, along with cranes capable of lifting up to 400 US tons. There we go. Sorry. Compared to the Megabay facilities in Starbase, SpaceX's current largest stacking and integration buildings, Gigabay provides more than 11 times the square footage workspace, 19 additional work cells, and more than twice the lifting crane capacity. Site preparations for Gigabay in Florida have already begun, with construction targeted to be complete and facility operational by the end of 2026. At the same time, we are also building another Gigabay at Starbase in Texas, next to our Starship Star Factory manufacturing facility. Work on Gigabay has already begun, and the facility is targeted for completion by the end of 2026.
To add to that, SpaceX is also designing and planning a co-located manufacturing facility, which is similar to the Star Factory in Texas, alongside the Florida Gigabay to produce Starships natively there, which is a pretty big deal. So we're now seeing, hopefully, concurrent Starship production, which is awesome.
I think 2 things. One, I think it's quite admirable that they are not trying to compete with the existing VAB at Kennedy, which is 716 feet long, 518 feet wide, and 526 feet tall. So I think that's very respectful to do that and not make it quite the biggest, the biggest out there, and letting NASA.
It's just a giant black cuboid, man. It's horrifying.
I'd actually like
the obelisk.
It's the obelisk.
I'd like to
Look at that.
I'd like to clarify that. This is actually significantly larger than the PAB.
Oh, am I tripping? I just can't read.
By volume, it's over 3 times larger
Oh my God.
than
so
the current
sorry. They are doing
largest building in the world, which is the
They are
Boeing
doing
Everett
the thing.
factory.
Oh my God. Okay, well, forget what I said. Everything I just said. They said FNAF.
Holy
The reality
crap.
is, big rockets need big production
rockets need
facilities,
big
and
production
SpaceX is now producing the biggest rocket production
Yeah,
facilities
wow.
in the
Wow,
world.
but they're also they said they were starting site prep for the facility in at Starship next to the Star Factory.
Oh,
I think that's
Starbase,
why they
yeah.
started. I think that's why they started moving the housing recently.
Yeah. Should also note 24 24 work cells is insane. Like
Yeah.
that's more than enough to be preparing like 12 ships at a time. I think that's more workspaces than things that they currently have like being produced at any given time. Gigabay is going to be insane.
I have to flip around a bit. We've just had a new chatter, Stefaniel. Welcome to the stream, Stefaniel. It's good to have you. That camera is ours. Yes, we have a bunch of pan tilt zooms scattered around of different perspectives of the launch.
Welcome
we've
to
also
Interstellar Gateway.
Yeah, this is what we do. We've also got a load of other cameras which are recording when the launch starts, and those will have footage that we'll collect and hopefully put together into a super nice video, and also into possibly episode 2 of our online series.
Alrighty. Quick note. We are inside of the official time. Prop load is beginning, and it appears SpaceX has given the go for prop, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, SpaceX has put out a tweet saying that SpaceX is go for prop load, and that the official live stream will go live 40 minutes ahead of liftoff, and they're targeting at 5:45 p.m. CT for the liftoff. So we actually have about another hour in the count. Our count is inaccurate. We shifted back a little bit. However,
we'll get our timer updated.
Yep, we are confirming it is go. They are go. They are going. We are going to get to watch a ship and booster launch today, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're an hour away now from that flight. Again, this is the second flight of Block 2, and hopefully we'll be seeing a booster catch and a ship landing with possibly a buoy view. We'll see what SpaceX give us this time.
Yeah, no, that would be phenomenal.
Very nice.
Love to see that.
Like, very nice indeed.
We might even, ship landing is a absolutely phenomenal thing to see, and frankly, I cannot wait to see what happens with this flight and even after. One of the best parts about the Starship program is just watching those ships come and flip and launch. It's really awesome, and yeah, no, it is perhaps one of the best things that we can see in the Starship program to date.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, here's something interesting. Chat, for those of you who were watching the first Starship launch, where were you when you were watching that launch? I know there were some interesting locations from some of my friends. Where were you when you were watching the first Starship launch?
That's a fun one. I was actually on a plane. Not only was I up on a plane for the first Starship launch, I was also on a train for the second one.
Planes, trains, and automobiles, man. Come on.
I believe I was in an automobile for one of the launches. I'm not sure which one, but I have watched all of them besides Flight 7, which I unfortunately had stayed up the previous night and was asleep for.
What
about the rest of you guys?
I believe I was on tour in Australia during Starship Flight 1. That was what, April 2023, right?
Roughly, yeah.
April 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, 420. Makes sense.
Incredible.
Got some interesting comments already. In Finland, someone says. Judging from the name, that does seem credible.
I'm assuming you live in Finland, yes?
It would be possible. Kezi says, at home, having stayed up all night, God, yeah. The amount of late nights that I've had because of Falcon 9. I used to stay up for Starlink launches until I stopped caring sometime last year. Aero was in there dead. Lewis was in a history class. That's awful.
What's interesting about that is they should have showed the live stream in history class, because that is history in the making. Come on now.
Honestly, Actually, I remember
Hell.
for one Starship launch, I had a physics test, and I'd finished it early. And at the moment the exam countdown finished, my teacher put on the Starship launch straight away, since he knew we'd been waiting. So there are some good teachers out there. Someone was in South Padre Island. That's nice. That's
Oh,
nice.
that's lovely. Lovely.
Crayons was in a basement hungover. I think the most incredible moment of their life. In a basement?
I mean,
Shanks
basements can be
was,
cool.
Fair enough.
Shanks first watched Flight 5 just after a train ride. That's nice. That's nice. David Begg was out riding their bike during IFT 3 or 2. Lincoln missed Flight 1 because they were in biology. Dude, honestly, it's awful. What's school doing to these people? So many moments.
RA says I too was in Australia because I am Australian. Yes, I was.
Fair enough.
I don't believe it. It's
I
fake
was-
news.
My
Yeah.
condolences.
I believe I was on tour in Australia with a band called the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Banger times, and Mitch Code saying banger times in my A-level physics classes when they were watching the Little Hopper grain silos.
Ah,
That
bless.
is brilliant. Oh, I missed them so much. I remember how excited
Yeah.
we'd get over one Raptor engine successfully lighting, and now we just go, yep, 33, that's good.
There is a
Not even just one Raptor. We used to stay up all night just to watch the tank get frosty.
oh
Dude.
yeah,
And nowadays
I
it's
was
nowadays
gonna
it's
say.
oh, there was another cryo at Massey's. Okay, cool.
I remember
All right.
talking to my friends about this, and they'd say the comment either on my autism or saying it's a bit pathetic. But looking back, I'm glad I did. Those tanks were cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Much agreed. Much agreed.
So there is a little behind the scenes. Flight 7, we had a PTZ notably under hopper because we thought that it was going to rain during that launch. So we were trying to protect the gear. Turns out that it was a completely clear day and we didn't need to do that, but we didn't think we were so tired at that point because we had ended up being out there for 2 weeks instead of 1. So we were like, just leave it. It'll be fine, to our detriment, but it is what it is. The shots were still amazing. But that being said, there is a unreleased video that will come out at some point in the future, probably in one of our longer form documentary type videos. When Joey went to set the cameras up, I handed him a GoPro and I said, go film yourself underneath hopper, because I need to see what it looks like, and I think everyone else would like to see what it looks like under hopper now. So there is a video that exists of Joey setting up a camera under hopper, and it's very cool.
Man, I've got a lot of talk here. We need more MF Doom and Starship references. I have to listen to more MF Doom, actually.
I feel like I'm missing something because I don't know what that is.
You've never heard of MF Doom?
You don't know who MF
Come
Doom
on.
is?
Dude.
I live under a
okay.
rock. I listen to 80s music, man. Come on.
Hey, look, I
Oh,
listen to
wow.
that too, but you've got to appreciate some of the greats, haven't you?
You know what,
And-
chat? What kind of what kind of music would you listen to for some sort of Starship flight?
That's true. Give us
Starship,
some
obviously.
Starship music recommendations.
Yeah.
Starship, obviously, the band.
Well, I
Yeah.
have to
Gonna
say,
make a-
the band. Fair
Ah,
play.
yes. I'm gonna make a
Nothing's gonna
subtle.
stop us now.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a subtle plug. I am in a band called Chasing Satellites, and we write nerdy space music. So if you're looking for some nerdy space rock music, check it out. Also, Sedated, casually mentioning you played with RJA. We do have a show with them this Wednesday in Nashville, but I do their tour content, so that's why I was with them on that tour in Australia. But yeah, very fun.
Awesome.
We've just seen on one of our cameras, which is just about to be pulled up now, that the Starship Quick Disconnect is starting to vent. Would you have a look at that? So propellant will start flowing very, very shortly.
That is exciting.
Personally,
see.
on the music side, I like the Nicki Minaj song.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
You
club.
know it. You
Let's
know
agree
it.
to disagree, man. Let's agree
Oh,
to
God.
disagree.
No, I gotta agree with them.
You know what? Sure. You know what? Let's add it to the Perigee lore. Perigee is canonically a Nicki Minaj fan.
Interesting.
You're a barb.
Yes.
You're a barb, Perigee.
I am a. Okay, hold on. All right, Nicki Minaj is great. Let's end it there. I do not want to anger the Barbs. Barbs, please do not kill me. Please, let's
True. We
can
also
add that to the
love
stream
Taylor
rules.
Swift.
No discussing
and all the
politics. Also,
K-pop
no
groups.
discussing Nicki Minaj. Awesome.
Right, here we are.
Right, we've
We
got
are
three
close
verbs.
to getting. We're close to getting a live SpaceX stream. No, couple minutes away.
Ooh,
minutes away?
Hopefully.
I believe
We'll
so.
see,
About
see
11
what they
minutes
bless us
away.
with. We will still be here to give you
We
that
will.
stream, so don't go anywhere.
We will indeed be here.
and our cameras will be rolling to hopefully capture some footage. We've also had Linkin Park, Countdown by Rush, 80s music. Dude, honestly, 80s Japanese city pop with a Starship launch. That is the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is the
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's the
Oh,
vibe.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
That's the
Dance
vibe.
Dance Revolution
Yeah.
type stuff. Let's go.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly. Everyday Astronaut, yep, fair play. Electric Like
Mhm.
Orchestra, Deep Purple Space Truckin', fair play. And
Yep.
Justice for Two, is that a song or is that a statement? I wouldn't know.
And Justice for You is what that means, but I don't know what that is in reference to.
Maybe it's a fire track. Maybe I'm just not
Definitely,
clued up
it's
on the
definitely
lingo.
French. Yep.
Paragy, you seem like someone who would blast Brat in orbit. Correct. Yes. We will be playing. Von Duff will be playing as the Starship launches. Okay?
You're actually so real
Here,
for that.
here.
Yeah, you are in fact just jealous of me. Okay. All right. It's okay to admit that.
Oh,
Anyway.
look at that puff! Look at that puff of gas there. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're at T-minus 50 minutes now. We're getting closer to the SpaceX stream, but we will still be here to give you our live thoughts on what's going on. Of course, we'll let them talk as well. I suppose.
Not-
We'll listen to them.
We'll try not to scream in excitement over the SpaceX hosts. No
Listen.
promises here.
No promises if Spruck is on.
Look at that
Hey,
split cam view. That is so sweet.
Hmm.
The real deal for me is if Jesse is on the stream.
If you'll allow me to simp for just a moment, I always adored how complex these structures were, the quick disconnects that have to deliver so much fluid into a rocket and yet get away from it so quickly. I think it's one of the most awesome bits of ground engineering we've seen. If you
It's
look back
pretty
in
wild.
time, there's so many stupid solutions that we've seen to making quick disconnects. We've seen little explosive bolts, we've seen massive hydraulic actuators that just yank it away. But SpaceX has done it elegantly.
And no, some of these structures are some of the most, I think, complex in the Starship program, and also they have to be the most resilient. They're designed, again, if you think about it, right, the rocket needs to be reusable, right? But beyond that, beyond it just being reusable, the ground infrastructure has to be able to take just the beating of being reusable just over and over and over and over again. And like, it's an elegant solution that SpaceX has come up with incredible things for. We know that the design for Pad B is different, but it's similar, and it's really just designed to take eating.
Yeah, I would say the GSC, the ground support equipment, if anything, has a harder job than the vehicles themselves, because let's say there's an issue with the vehicle. In theory, they're going to have a fleet of them. They can just pull a ship or booster out of the fleet for maintenance. But those launch pads, there's a lot fewer of them, and those have to be launching quite a rapid pace for Starship to work. So that GSE has to survive repeated launch with no issues.
Yeah, and this isn't infrastructure comparable to other things we have. This isn't like airport terminals. These are built to handle the most incredibly loud rockets that you could possibly think of. I mean, this is 33 Raptor engines. You've seen Tez videos of one of them firing. You imagine 33 of them resonating together. That kind of sound can really mess with electronics. So the design of these ground station equipment boils down to, even on a micro component level, building circuit boards and assemblies and connector harnesses that can handle that repeated vibration, and that's some seriously complex stuff. So I think you do have to be humble when you're thinking about GSC. This is just as important, if not more important, than the rocket. You can have like multiple rockets, like Miranda said, but you only got one launch tower.
That's
now.
very, very true. You know what? Since no one else is doing it, I'll do it. From Space Vulture, $2. Who will be the first person to say Sigma on Starship? And I'm telling you now, it's probably going to be Jared Isaacman. It's probably going to be Jared Isaacman.
I don't think Jared Isaacman knows what Sigma means.
Hasn't he tweeted Sigma? I remember him tweeting Sigma.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember him tweeting Sigma. He said that.
And even worse than
Also
that,
said ratio on Inspiration 4.
Yeah, exactly. Isaacman is terminally online. He's just like us. He's just like me for real. And
he's flying his planes and texting at the same time.
Future NASA administrator, by the way. Oh my lord.
Yes. The thing is, the word Sigma has already been in space, and not like Sigma 7 in its modern form. There was an astronaut en route to the ISS. I think his son said, I guess this is something my son would say is pretty stigma. So it's
Oh,
I
already
remember
been
this.
Oh, I was gonna say he did say it. That's awful.
Was that Don
Exactly.
Petit?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Don Petit. It was someone else. I think
Ah.
they were on either Crew
Oh, I
8 or
see.
Crew 9. I think it was Crew 8. But Brain Rot truly did, in fact, go orbital that day.
Brain
And
rot has gone orbital. That's a new sentence.
It's left the atmosphere.
Oh my God.
The rot
See, this is the
spreads.
stuff you don't get on NSF.
Yep.
We
We're
out
bringing up
here.
the SpaceX stream. Don't worry. It should be up soon. Should
Yep.
be up.
We're
soon.
waiting for them to post it, basically.
Moment
Also,
of
speaking of,
flash it on.
you have Isaac Man about to do a commercial space flight as a private citizen, right?
What's this?
That's a little up in the air right now.
Sorry,
Um,
spacewalk. My bad.
That
yeah.
happened a bit ago.
A little bit ago.
That's-
Fortunately, Polaris is on hold due to the fact that he is an administrator now.
He's a little busy doing a side quest.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a literal
exactly.
side quest, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite literally a fine, I'll do it myself type situation.
Yes.
Mhm.
I would have
For
been
better or
nice
for
if-
worse.
Bill Nelson did very well as NASA administrator, so I'm sure that Jared will do
Agreed.
well as well.
I'm sure he's very passionate about what he does, so I think he'll be great.
I think we ought to continue the trend of astronauts being administrators, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, it
obviously
makes
Yep.
sense.
Much like how engineers make the best CEOs, astronaut, you really need to.
Live, ladies and gents. Patch him
It's
in.
live. Let's get
Oh.
it in here. Patch
We'll
him
bring
in,
it up for
Ellen.
you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. We'll have it picture
Yeah.
in picture for you.
Exactly. Don't worry.
Thank
It's a
you.
deluxe
Thank you for being
caviar
here.
experience here.
Indeed.
Yeah, you'll get to experience both our amazing views, SpaceX's, and our dulcet tones.
Oh, unscripted
Exactly.
shittery.
Exactly. Isn't that what you're here for? Isn't that what you're here for? To hear the sweet, sweet sounds of us.
Here for me, actually, Garage.
Saying things.
Oh, Lord. We'll have it up for you in just a second now. You can see that venting on ship is continuing steadily, so we are definitely continuing with this launch.
Yes.
Yeah. And once again, thank you to everyone who has been donating and getting those super chats and joining the membership program, as well as I believe in the description of the video we may have. I'm just double checking before I misspeak. Oh, we do not. Oh, we do have a Patreon that is being launched and or has launched.
Being launched. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Come soon.
Yeah. Exactly. We do provide views, and special high-resolution audio in our membership program.
Yeah, I will
It
say
is
now, Joey's very
beautiful.
big on the cool mastering, the 5.1 surround sound, the IMAX aspect ratio. That's all there, if you remember. So do consider it. There is some cool stuff that we're producing, and we're spending a lot of time in our video editing software for you. So please make it worth it.
And Dolby Atmos support.
Yes.
And HDR10 Plus, as it turns out.
And potentially more VR views in the future if people are interested in that. We might do that as a perk of that. So just know.
I will say I've been enjoying Dolby Atmos emulation lately because it's very good at making my car's shitty speakers sound studio.
Right, correct.
It's brilliant.
We have Perigi with his terrible desktop mic. We have good audio. Look, I'm trying my best. Okay, all right. I didn't know what a Star Lolo was until like 2 weeks ago, man. All right, I'm trying.
Fergie, it could be worse. It could be me. My main microphone is bust, and I'm running off my laptop's built-in microphone at the minute.
Respect to you, brother.
I could put on my desktop mic, but my proper microphone. But believe me, I would sound like I am phoning you on a telephone.
We sound pretty good, I think, right now. We're okay.
We are sorting out that SpaceX stream for you guys, but in the meantime, they are playing some really fun, groovy music.
They're on their hold music. They're not
They are
missing
indeed.
anything. We'll bring you the live views once they have them.
Yes, indeed.
Binghampton, what a username. It's asking, if I super chat money, will you buy a new mic via tax write-off? Okay. Well, we're not going to make
Ladies
any
and-
promises. but
Ladies and gentlemen, why did
hypothetically,
nobody
it could
tell
be
me my
used.
microphone was on the wrong one? There we go. There
Because
go.
we didn't know, man.
Now it should be clearer and good.
Oh my god, you sound so much better.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
I am so glad we figured that out before the flight.
I didn't know
Why
you
Thanks
had
to
a
your-
better one.
tell me?
You had a better
Your-
one, Hoji. How are we meant to know that?
It's all thanks.
Congratulations.
to
No,
this.
I usually don't tell that bad.
It's all thanks to your
No,
super
man,
chats
yeah.
that Perigi was able to switch over to a better microphone.
Your computer
Thank you.
your computer also blue screened like 15 minutes ago. So let's not set
Also,
the
that is
standards too
also
high
true.
now,
The
okay?
computer does blue
Yeah,
screen
let's not
very
set the standards too
frequently.
high, Parachi.
Oh lord.
Let's not run the streams from your computer, yeah?
Yeah.
No, agreed.
All right, we got the live coming in soon.
Hopefully.
Just started their intro video. Yeah, we can't put that up just yet, guys, just for people watching, because we will get absolutely obliterated if we have their music on.
We do have to be cautious of playing music for copyright reasons, of course.
Yeah, no. If we...
I can sing you a song if you'd like.
Ooh, yes, please.
That might be risking it for other reasons, but okay.
You're talking about copyright, right?
Yeah, no, let's go with that.
That's
Let's go with that.
Yeah, definitely copyright.
I wish
One
you
Right,
loved
y'all,
me,
we
man.
got
I wish you
Definitely
loved me.
copyright. Definitely
on screen for
copyright.
y'all. Very excited for this.
Yeah.
A cool little recap there.
Alrighty.
It's fun.
Oh, the buoy.
Alrighty.
Emlyn, do you think we can move that T clock slightly to the right?
That'd be sick.
Please.
That might be pushing the bounds of technology. I'd be careful. I think
Yeah.
I think we lost the technology for that.
I'll tempt fate if you all are willing to.
All right, we're up.
From Starbase, Texas.
Boy.
It is currently 5:05 p.m. Central Time here, and we are looking forward to tonight's launch of the world's most powerful rocket. I'm Kate Tice, Senior Quality Systems Engineering Manager here at SpaceX.
And I'm Dan Hewitt with SpaceX Communications. Welcome to our first ever broadcast from Starbase's new Star Factory building. I've been waiting a while to say that.
Wow.
Super excited. We are just a little over 30 minutes,
I did not
39
just
minutes
drop
away
a
and
battery
counting
on
down
the
to a
ground.
liftoff at
What have you
5:45
done?
p.m. Central Time today.
No, I just
Yeah,
had a
and if you were
battery on my
wondering,
desk and then I just
yes,
dropped
that
it.
is the pad just behind us.
Don't set the
Now,
desk on
just
fire.
over 1 month ago,
Trying
we
not to.
saw the second ever tower catch of the Super Heavy booster there at that pad. And that was also the first ever flight of the next generation of ship, which successfully lit all 6 Raptor engines and flew for several minutes before contact was lost.
That's right. We completed our investigation following that mission, made a number of hardware operational changes for today's flight. We're going to detail all of those in just a few minutes. Important to remember, though, progress in a developmental program like this one, it's not always linear. There's no comparison, though, for putting that flight hardware in a flight environment to learn as fast as possible. And as always, primary payload for Starship flight test campaign is data.
The objectives for today's flight will look very similar to Flight 7. We're planning to deploy simulated Starlink satellites and fly a range of experiments. We've moved a number of tiles from ship. We've removed a number of tiles from the ship for re-entry testing. We will also intentionally be stressing the flaps during re-entry so we can test the limits of ship before we get ready to attempt future ship catches. So lots of new testing happening today, and as always, excitement is definitely guaranteed.
And just checking on things at the pad real quick as we're under 38 minutes away. We are tracking to 5:45 p.m. Central Time liftoff. We've got a window all the way to 6:30 p.m. We have started prop load. You'll start to see those frost lines building up on both Super Heavy and Starship. We're not tracking any technical issues, any range issues, any weather issues from a launch at that 5:45 p.m. mark. So we are loading prop on the vehicles, looking good for a launch in just a little over 37 minutes. Now, let's meet today's vehicle on the pad. It's the world's biggest rocket, Starship.
Yeah, you see it there on your screen, but to get an even better sense of how big Starship is, let's start with the average size human, which is about 2 meters high, or a little over 6 feet. Towering over our human is the length of the Millennium Falcon, which comes in at 35 meters. Our Falcon 9 rocket, which is has the payload fairing attached, is double the height of the Millennium Falcon at 70 meters. And twice nearly the size of that is the fully stacked Starship, just over 123 meters tall. The ship is about 52 meters tall, and the Super Heavy booster alone stands at about 71 meters. So it's pretty big. And we do have plans to make the ship and booster even taller in the future, if you can imagine.
And Starship itself features 2 major parts. We've got ship, that's the fully reusable upper stage powered by 6 Raptor engines. And then we have the Super Heavy booster that's fully reusable first stage with 33 of those Raptor engines powering it. Super Heavy, the most powerful rocket ever flown, designed to launch, return, refuel, launch again with 0 refurb. And to make all of that happen, we also have Stage 0. That's everything else you see around it that enables Starship to fly. The tower, the orbital launch mount, quick disconnects, prop farm, everything. Stage 0 is also just as critical to achieving that rapid reuse as Starship itself.
Back on the rocket, the ship features 6 Raptors, 3 of them for sea-level engines and 3 for vacuum engines. Raptor Vacuum, or RVAC, is a similar design to the Raptor engine, but features a larger exhaust section and a larger expansion nozzle to maximize the engine's efficiency in space. It's also designed for vertical takeoff and landing on any hard surface, useful for when you're taking off from a place like Mars that's still waiting for its first launch tower.
And that ship is outfitted with 4 flaps that are used to control the vehicle's attitude during subsonic flight and to enable a precision landing. The 2 upper ones are right here. And then to achieve full reusability, the ship has to survive entry not just once, but multiple times every single time we send it up and bring it back. It does that with its heat shield, which we iterate on every single flight as we're just building towards a heat shield that requires no refurbishment. The one today, it's still composed of those thousands of hexagonal ceramic tiles, and they're designed to insulate the vehicle during that atmospheric reentry where some of those temperatures spike up as high as about 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. That's one of the real big things we're still working on. Rapidly reusable heat shield has never existed in history, so just continuously improving on it right now is just a key focus for all of these flight tests.
And then there in between the first and second stages is our hot stage. We saw that in action first starting on Flight 2. The hot staging maneuver is when the upper stage engines are ignited before the booster engines are completely cut off. With hot staging, the rocket never stops accelerating during separation. So it's actually more efficient than traditional stage separation, even though it sounds kind of crazy. You actually see it there on your screen now. That is one of the upgrades that we made on Flight 2, thanks to lessons that we learned on Flight 1. Several of the improvements and upgrades made for today's flight will unlock our ability to fly longer missions, something that we'll want to start doing, as we start doing orbital flights around Earth, and of course, eventually to Mars.
And ship definitely had a lot of lessons learned on Flight 7, but Super Heavy Booster put on one hell of a show for our second ever return to launch site and catch. Marked our first reflight of hardware, shout out Engine 314, and it brought us a lot closer to full reuse. For more on that, get ready, Internet. We're going to be joined now by our buddy Chris out in Hawthorne. How's it going, Chris?
And thank you, Dan, and I couldn't agree more. Raptor 134 definitely started us down that path toward rapid reusability for the Raptor engines, and who knows, maybe we'll see it again. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to Hawthorne, California. As you can hear, excitement is building as we count down to Starship's 8th flight test. Behind me, you can see one of our mission control rooms where engineers here in Hawthorne are assisting our flight control teams in Starbase, keeping an eye on various systems like Starship's avionics and, of course, those powerful Raptor engines that have quite a workout ahead of them today. Now, the Raptor engines you'll see and definitely hear today were manufactured right here in Hawthorne, California. And the engines on today's flight are all Raptor 2 engines, which is the same design we've been using for Starship's flight tests to date. And that includes all of the engines that have powered the 2 Super Heavy boosters back to Starbase for catch and recovery by Mechazilla. But here at SpaceX, we like to continuously improve our designs by eliminating the parts we don't need. We call this applying the algorithm, and that helps us simplify designs and drives us toward rapid, reliable reuse. And that's just what we're doing with our Raptor engines, like you can see here on your screen. I love this family photo of the Raptors because it really shows you the unprecedented step forward in rocket design that Raptor 3 is. And you can really tell that we applied the algorithm here, questioning the requirements for the engine, finding the parts we didn't need, and then optimizing for manufacturability and reuse. Now, one of the cool things about Raptor 3 is that it eliminates the large and heavy engine heat shields, which means that when we move from the Raptor 2 to the Raptor 3 engines on Starship, each Raptor 3 engine is going to save us about 1.1 metric tons of mass, and that's a lot of mass when you multiply that by 39 or more engines. So Raptor 3 will help us increase Starship's efficiency, and as well as the amount of mass that Starship is able to deliver to space. And I gotta say personally, it's really exciting to be looking at the engine that will make life multiplanetary, beginning with Mars. But before we get to Mars, we still have a lot of important and critical development work to do, and it's flight tests like today's that help us do just that. So as we get ready for Flight 8, let's take a look back at last month's Flight 7.
So we're back with you now. This is a recap of the Flight 7, this is the last flight of Starship.
Yeah, we've seen this. You can see this video on your own. We want to just say a quick thank you to Jacob in chat for purchasing a membership for us.
Yeah, Jacob, thank you very much for joining us.
Just letting you know, we'll be in and out from here on, and once we get real closer to launch, you know, when things are starting, then we'll tune back in. Then you'll be able to hear, of course, reactions from all of us as the ship goes live. Just letting you guys know from here on out where we're going to be.
Do stick around. Once Starship comes into the coast phase, we should have some nice banter going. I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. That's some other streams. Well, the SpaceX stream especially doesn't have a lot of. It's very bland, to put it nicely.
Inshallah, we actually get the coast this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, inshallah,
Hopefully.
we do get the coast. My goodness.
Cross your
One
fingers.
Please.
There goes the hot
Nothing,
stage ring.
No
Fuels that exist to
S-34.
shield the top of the booster.
Exactly.
Will hopefully
SpaceX
be
confirmed
removed.
propellant load was go a while ago, by the way, just so you know. Well, obviously, but yes.
Thankfully, Flight 7 had another successful booster catch. The previous flight
Indeed.
before that, Flight 6, had an offshore divert. As I recall, that was due to a radio communication issue with the tower. That's obviously since been resolved.
To be abundantly clear, since this has been a point of contention, that radio control issue was not on top of the tower itself.
Yes. Yes, it was not. That's not the
Point of
that is not
contention
the-
amongst nerds, I love it. A hotly debated topic. Didn't quite
Many
make
such
news, though.
cases.
the longest history, this longest thread in the history of forums, locked after 10,000 pages of heated debate. Okay, hey, SpaceX is wrapping up the Flight 7 recap. We might let them yap on a little bit longer, but again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for letting us do the funny rocket. All right, SpaceX's stream is back. I think we will probably go quiet.
My hands got sweaty again in excitement watching that, and in anticipation knowing that we're gonna hopefully get to experience booster catch again. I know seeing my first booster catch I'll never forget.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Nothing on the planet.
Now, using the data from Flight 7, we've made some key improvements under the hood for today. Flight 7 taught us a couple of important things that changed some of our pre-flight testing to help us investigate more. First, we saw a harmonic response several times stronger in flight than we saw in testing.
And harmonic response, in this case, it's essentially vibrations that we're seeing go through the structure. Rocket engines, as you can imagine, create an incredible amount of noise and vibration, which then passes through every component of that rocket. And on Flight 7, we saw those vibrations happening at a very specific frequency, and they were placing some extra stress on that hardware in Starship's propulsion system. This is most likely what led to propellant leaks that we saw that eventually cascaded into fires and ultimately ended with loss of contact with the ship.
As part of our investigation, our team at Starbase took this flight's ship through a 60-second static fire on the Starship test stand, which is 10 times longer than any previous static fire. During this test, we cycled through multiple throttle levels. In fact, you can see that on your screen now. We cycled through multiple throttle levels on the engines to recreate different conditions seen within the propulsion system during flight. And we tested some hardware changes on fuel feed lines to the Raptor vacuum engines.
This gave us just the extra data that we needed to eventually implement new hardware that's installed in those fuel feed lines for the RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines. Also tweaked a couple of other things like the temperature of the propellant as we're feeding it to the engines. Also the throttle level that we set for those engines during ascent. Having the ability to do a 60-second static fire, just one of the ways we're trying to expand our test capabilities here at Starbase. You want to test like you fly as much as possible. That just helps us to iterate even faster.
Yeah, exactly. The fuel feed lines to the Raptor vacuum engines, which are unique to this upgraded version of ship, look like large straws running through the oxygen tank. Today's vehicle has one of the hardware configurations we tested in that extended static fire because it showed it was able to minimize the harmonic response and lower its amplitude or strength.
We also took another look at where those fires broke out, specifically in what we call the attic. That's an unpressurized space between just the bottom of the ship's liquid oxygen tank and the top of those engine heat shields. Fires in that space resulted in a loss of vehicle back on Flight 2 and also on Flight 7. So we took some steps to make it more resilient to leaks in the future. To do that, we added a pretty hefty purge system. It's going to use gaseous nitrogen. It's pretty similar to the CO2, the carbon dioxide system we use on booster. It essentially just floods the zone with an inert gas to prevent a fire from ever starting. And then in addition to this, we increased the attic's natural fire defense just by adding some additional vent holes. That helps to keep the attic pressure as close to just vacuum as humanly possible as Starship flies into space.
And for the next generation of ship, we're running the algorithm. We're going to try and do the next best possible thing and delete some of the unnecessary space. So that ship will be using Raptor 3 engines, which will let us reduce the attic volume and eliminate the majority of joints that can leak into the space. In the end, what you're seeing take place with these changes is the core of our test program. We fly hardware all together in a real-world environment. We learn from the data, we make upgrades, and then we fly again. Ultimately, we fly to learn, and we're learning a lot.
That's right. Now, for today's flight test, we're going to be attempting to do everything we didn't get to do on Flight 7. We're still looking to get our first re-entry with this upgraded version of ship. Also intentionally trying to stress it to gather real-world data on just where the vehicle's boundaries are. So don't be surprised if it's not a smooth flight down to a landing for ship today. As always, it's going to start with liftoff. The 33 Raptor engines on super heavy igniting, lifting both it and Starship into its ascent, and it's going to power us all the way until hot staging.
Yeah, those engines on the ship will ignite while the ship is still attached to the booster. This will create that stage separation that we see there. Second stage will continue to go on its way. The booster will make a flip and come back here to the launch tower just behind Dan and I for hopefully what we will see the third ever booster catch.
Meanwhile, ship continues its ascent, gets into its suborbital place in space. We're going to have a test satellite deploy, pew-pew, Starlink's firing out. And then we're also going to do a Raptor relighting one of those sea level engines before we get to ship re-entry.
Troubleshoot by the state machine.
And the ship will continue through, make its entry phase that lasts for a few minutes.
And if some comms did just go out, we heard that an operator hold got in, so they are troubleshooting one issue. As we continue to move through prop load, we'll get some more details on what caused the hold. And if we start to reset to a new T0, we are still loading prop on the vehicle. So essentially putting that hold in means that if we get through everything and we hit that T-minus 40-second mark, we'll hold there and wait to clear the issue if we haven't cleared it at some point in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, for those that are unfamiliar, that T-minus 40-second period is an opportunity.
Oh no, hold.
Never a good word to hear.
Never a good word to hear. Ooh, hold. Oh no,
Yikes.
please, SpaceX, please. Not like this. Not
Okay,
like
so what
this.
we so if you're just a bit confused about what's going on, looks like SpaceX are extending the countdown, so they're holding it right here. This doesn't mean that the launch is scrubbed; it could still go ahead. What we heard, okay, space engineers are telling us the count continues, but they're going to continue troubleshooting. So there's a chance that we could end up with a delayed countdown, but for now we're going to continue watching and see what happens.
Alright, seems like SpaceX has some other things. God, please, come on. We don't need this to be... This has been the smoothest a flight has gone so far. Please! Let it go! Okay, seems like SpaceX is talking about real things again. I think we should probably time to take us out.
By making Starship 2 meters taller, we added about 25% more propellant volume, along with propulsion upgrades such as vacuum jacketing of the feed lines, new fuel feed line system for Raptor vacuum engines, and an improved propulsion avionics module.
Yeah, ship got a little bit taller. That extra prop's going to allow us to fly those longer missions. We're not planning on stretching it a whole lot more beyond this in future ones, but then, you know, once we're flying the next version a lot, it'll be going. Just like the previous flight, a lot of tiles have been purposely removed. As again, we're trying to stress test all of the vulnerable areas, call this the missing tile test. Those tiles are removed in strategic locations all across the vehicle, including critical areas like those tanks and over the flap seals, as we use this flight to just really push those boundaries. In addition to that, we have some metallic tiles, again, that are being tested, including one on the right of this animation that has some active cooling built in.
The vehicle's avionics also underwent a complete redesign with things like 4 upgraded Starlink terminals, combining Starlink, global navigation, and RF communications. You can see that location there on your screen. And on the sides of the vehicle, non-structural versions of the ship's catch fittings are installed to test the thermal performance, along with a smoothed and tapered edge on one section of the tile line to address hotspots that we observed during Flight 6.
And once more, we're back at testing some radar sensors on those tower catch arms. We did that last flight. We're doing it again as we look for some additional ways to measure the distance between the arms and the vehicle. Catching the ship's going to be pretty different from catching the booster. It does that flip right before, so your antennas are going to rapidly reorient. And so just having any extra sensors on the ground side, you're adding extra layers of control while the ship and tower talk to each other for a catch.
In another first, Starship will deploy 4 Starlink simulators. They are similar in size to our next generation Starlink satellites. With unparalleled payload capacity and full reusability, Starship will be able to deploy our more advanced V3 Starlink satellites, which will revolutionize global connectivity with Starlink all over again.
Each one of those Starlink V3 launches on a Starship is going to add about 60 terabits of capacity to the Starlink network. To give you some context, that's about 20 times the capacity of what we're adding with every V2 mini launch in a Falcon 9 right now. That's going to help us expand Starlink's network, expand its impact in the coming years as we expand that access to high-speed internet all around the world and eventually beyond. And the Starlink simulators that we're deploying today, they're going to be on the same suborbital trajectory as Starship. We expect them to demise as they enter in the atmosphere. And then Starship's trajectory itself looks very similar to our last several flights, splashdowns targeted in the Indian Ocean. And on top of all of that, we're also going to relight a single Raptor engine again while in space. We're just trying to get data on in-space Raptor burns. You're going to need those for deorbit burns when we're doing orbital missions, and eventually when we're doing missions way beyond Earth and we're on our way to Mars.
Yeah, so just like you said earlier, Dan, there's a lot on Starship's plate for today. But one of the hallmarks of these Starship flights are the incredible views that we get throughout the flight, courtesy of Starlink. Every day, we're working to expand the Starlink network both on Earth and in space. For how all this connects us to the big mission, let's head back to Chris.
Thanks, Kate. And as fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables us to bring you a lot of those unprecedented views, both from space and on Earth. Personally, I love all those epic views of the plasma wrapping around Starship during re-entry. So thank you to our Starlink teams who enable all of those amazing views and the information we get. Now, in addition to the dozens of cameras on Starship itself, as you see on your screen here, we also have mobile Starlink camera kits deployed in the middle of the Indian Ocean, as you're seeing from a previous flight. Starlink also allows us to connect our aerial cinematography units on the ground at Starbase and at other strategic camera spots around Texas and the world. And that's all part of how it comes together to help us tell the incredible story of Starship, both on and off the planet. So thanks to Starlink, Starship is now capable of streaming more than 120 megabits per second of real-time, high-definition video and telemetry through every phase of flight. This not only provides those incredible views of reentry for all of us, but also the invaluable engineering data to help our engineers rapidly iterate across all systems of Starship. And all of that streaming data today will be put to good use with the more than 30 cameras that are on the vehicle for today's flight. Now, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of whom have never had connectivity before. As of today, Starlink is serving more than 125 countries, territories, and other markets, and has more than 5 million active customers and counting. But to meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX recently expanded its factory at Bastrop, Texas, and introduced Starlink Mini as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink standard kit. Here's our first ever look inside our brand new Bastrop facility.
There's like an interesting stat where like the odds of being struck by lightning in your lifetime are like about 1 in 15,000. And we make 15,000 dishes a day. If the odds
Texas at the Starlink manufacturing site, just about 20 miles east of downtown Austin. So the main function of this site is to produce our standard Starlink kits. Right now we're producing 15,000 a day.
But we have had to unfortunately pull the audio just because it's copyrighted content. We don't want our stream to be smitten from the heavens. We've got some great views here of internal SpaceX manufacturing facilities.
That sucks. It was a great thing. Why do you have to put music?
Of course they have to put their fun little music, but they were talking about those amazing views that SpaceX is providing, and you're also looking at the amazing views that the Interstellar Gateway team is providing on the ground at Starbase.
Exactly. Look at this. Look at our incredible views of the ship just absolutely being loaded for launch. That thing is going.
I think it's
14 minutes now.
Also, with the Starlink videos that they're putting up, it's very easy to forget that SpaceX doesn't just make rockets. SpaceX makes avionics packages, SpaceX makes satellite components, satellite rocket engines, ion engines even. They're making ground units for Starlink, all of the other things that come along with that. And that technology is all really linked in with SpaceX's own production facilities. So this is a company that's producing an awful lot more things than we easily think about.
And it's definitely cool seeing some of the manufacturing process. I recognize some of the robotics in here that you'll be seeing on screen. I filmed for a couple of robotics companies around the Tennessee area where I live, and I recognize many of those machines that they are using in this manufacturing process. Very cool.
Yes. That logo is just always incredible. All right, SpaceX is back.
Here they come. We'll let them talk.
Be silent once more.
That they need to use that technology. Definitely a lot of good things to come from our Bastrop facility. And while we're talking about the infrastructure that enables us to do all of these amazing things, you've probably seen some changes recently around Starbase. Coming online this year is the second tower at Starbase, and this tower has redesigned chopsticks and is built to accommodate the next generation of Starship and Super Heavy. It will have a redesigned launch mount and flame diverter system built to be rapidly reusable and hardy enough to withstand hundreds of launches at a time. Now, over at the production site down the road, we're also building a new integration and refurbishment facility called Gigabay. And Gigabay, as the name implies, will allow us to process more Starships at the same time over our current megabays. But Gigabay isn't just for Texas. If that weren't exciting enough, we're also further expanding Starship operations into Florida, bringing production and launch capabilities to the Space Coast. As Starship flight testing, development, and launch cadence continues to pick up pace at Starbase in Texas, over in Florida, we're building a Gigabay as well. Gigabay will stand 380 feet tall and will provide about 46.5 million cubic feet of interior processing space and about 815,000 square feet of workspace. Now, as environmental impact statements continue for potential Starship launches and flights from both Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center and Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, we plan to complete the Starship launch pad at Pad 39A this year. And pending the completion of environmental reviews, SpaceX intends to conduct the first Starship launch from Florida from Launch Pad 39A later this year. Now, we're also interested in enabling Starship launches from Slick 37. And as part of this process, SpaceX has been given a limited right of entry for Pad 37 to conduct further due diligence at the site in order to move forward with the environmental impact study that's being led by the Department of the Air Force. Ultimately, we will have production, integration, refurbishment, and launch facilities in both Florida and Texas, driving the needed flight rate for Starship to help make humanity a multiplanetary civilization. And Kate, I could talk about this stuff for literally hours on end, but we've got a Starship to launch today. So how are things looking 11 minutes before launch here?
Yeah, it's pretty cool that we're getting close to go time. Quick update on range and weather. For the range, the area around the pad has been well cleared. This includes the land, air, and sea space. So all is clear on the range front. That also applies to over in the Indian Ocean. The sea and airspace has been cleared as well for ships re-entry. Once again, we are making a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So just the buoy cams are out there and we'll get some great videos once again. Weather, we have a 35% chance of violating the weather the weather constraints for launch today. So it's not perfect, but it's not bad. Visibility also not so awesome. We can see the tower here. We're 2 miles away from the launch pad, but visibility around the greater area might be a little challenging.
Yeah, in terms of the vehicle itself, so right now you can see we're almost done loading prop on ship, almost done on booster. If you tuned in and heard earlier, we did hear talk about a flight controller hold going in. So just a reminder, all that means is we wouldn't be able to pass that T-minus 40-second mark. They're literally talking about it right now on the loops that they think they've got the problem figured out. It was an issue on the booster where we think we will be clear by about the T-minus 2-minute mark, and we will be able to move right through that T-minus 40, hopefully. So, prop load continuing. We're not holding or anything yet, and we're expecting that issue to clear before we get to that T-minus 40 mark. This morning, though, we did all of the usual checkouts, aligned the navigation systems, did all of our booster and ship tank purges, got them ready for prop load, chilled down the pad, which you can see all the cryo right now. Things are pretty chilly out there. Prop load's been going. We just did a flap check out. We also do a wiggle check out on the chopstick arms as well. We are going to continue loading prop for about another 6 minutes. We're going to close ship at about 3 minutes, 20 seconds before launch. Booster just about 30 seconds later. So we've had at least one issue that we're still working in the background, expecting that to clear before we hit that kind of that hold gate at T-minus 40 seconds, and looking good.
Yeah, so bottom line, things are looking good for liftoff here in just under 9 minutes. We're now at, looks like 8 minutes and 49 seconds. So everything's looking green so far.
Yeah. Before we get any closer to liftoff, I need to shamelessly plug Starbase. I'm one of just a couple thousand people who work here. Soon to be the newest city in Texas at Starbase, and we're the largest employer in the area. We're always hiring, so visit spacex.com/careers, see all the openings. It's where the future is being built, and it's a future we can all be pretty excited about. So yeah, come work here. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's launch a rocket.
All right, so we're coming up to 8 minutes until liftoff. As we mentioned before, flight controllers are already on console. They're located in our Ad Astra Launch Control Center, about 6 miles away from the pad. But they will soon be moving here with us to Star Factory. So a lot of excitement around that, certainly growing.
Yeah, and again, general status check. We're continuing to progress. We're under 8 minutes away. We're tracking an issue with booster. We're expecting that to clear. Still looking good for launch. Speaking of booster, let's talk about catching one.
Absolutely.
The tower's 2 giant robotic arms that lift and stack Starship on a Super Heavy for final integration ahead of flight. We also use those to catch. It means we don't have any landing legs on the booster. Makes the booster lighter. Means we can throw more payload into space.
Exactly. Following liftoff and after the 2 stages separate in flight, Super Heavy will return to the launch site, the same exact launch site that it lifted off from, reignite its engines to slow the vehicle down. Here we see playback from a previous booster catch. I believe that was our first booster catch. The vehicle will slow down, tower arms will come out and catch the booster.
And just like the last few times, literally thousands of different vehicle pad criteria have to be met before we bring a booster back and try to catch it. We need healthy systems on Super Heavy, on the launch tower, and we need that final manual command from the mission's flight director for the day. If that command isn't sent before we finish the boost back burn, or if any of those automated health checks kick us out, the booster defaults to a trajectory, takes it to a landing burn and a soft splashdown in the Gulf.
Yeah, we have said it multiple times before, but it still holds true today. We accept no compromises when it comes to ensuring the safety of the public and our team, and the return will only take place if the conditions are right, and there are many of them. So there's a chance that we may not get to catch the booster today.
Yeah, and one aspect to the return and the catch of that booster is the audible sonic boom in the area around the return location. That happens as the booster's slowing down from supersonic speeds. It's similar to sonic booms that were heard during the return and landing of NASA's space shuttle for anyone that was in Florida for those.
Sonic booms like these are unique to vehicles returning from space and are one of the hallmarks of reusable systems like our Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy vehicles. The general impact to those in the surrounding area of a sonic boom is basically a brief thunder-like noise. And I've heard sonic booms before, but I got to experience my first in-person Starship sonic boom on Flight 7, and I can confirm it's pretty fun to experience.
And as someone who has heard sonic booms many times in Florida, they are definitely a hallmark, and what a way to announce a returning space vehicle's return for reuse. Now, here in California, as you can imagine, the excitement is growing here. The crowd is growing. Kate mentioned our flight controllers in Ad Astra in Texas. Here in Hawthorne, we also have controllers on console in Mission Control, helping those teams in Texas monitor Starship's various systems, including the avionics and those 39 Raptor engines that were built right here in Hawthorne. Now, with 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go, Dan and Kate, how are we looking for a launch today?
So we are still looking good. We're just about fully topped out on propellant on both vehicles. The closeout's going to be coming up in about a minute on ship, and then about 30 seconds later on the booster. We are still hearing chatter in the background about the booster issue that we're tracking. We may still be able to pass the hold, but if we need to hold at T-minus 40 seconds, we have several minutes that we can hang out there and work to just kind of troubleshoot those final issues before we get the go. Once we're fully loaded on prop, which is coming up soon, we've got just shy of 11 million pounds of liquid oxygen, liquid methane on both of those stages. And then once we're done, we're going to see that we're going to hear the ground lines do what's called pushback. So all of that propellant gets pushed out of those lines back to the tanks, clearing the pad for launch.
Now, in the next few minutes, the guidance system will perform a final alignment. The automated flight safety system will be armed, and thrust vector control, or TVC, checkouts will be performed. As we said, if we do need to hold, it would come at that T-minus 40-second mark. That is the point in the countdown where we can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization, or if we need to continue to work through that issue. So once we pass through that T-minus 40-second mark, a number of things are going to happen quite quickly. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure. The ship's going to go on to internal power. And after that, the quick disconnect, or QD, arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. And as once we do pass that T-minus 40 seconds, we still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to that T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, and if we can proceed again to T0, but that's only in certain situations.
All right, so we're just about 2.5 minutes away. We do have a couple of things, like if we hit T-minus 10 seconds and you see water start flowing out of the deflector, that is a reason for us to scrub for the day, is that's once it's turned on, it doesn't turn off, and then we'll have to refill the tanks on both the water farm and the prop farm. Our team's gotten really, really good at refilling stuff really quick, so we can reposition for about a 24-hour recycle if we need to.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of
we're
things,
coming up. We're coming up just under 2 minutes away. Now hearing we might hold at that T-minus 40-second mark while they still talk through a couple of troubleshooting steps. But again, if we hold there, we can hold there for several minutes, even with all prop fully loaded on the vehicle, before we can release the hold and decide to move forward. All right, less than 1.5 minutes away. Again, keep your eye on the clock. Look for T-minus 40. We may hold there. It's not a rocket launch unless you're talking nonstop in the background until right before you lift off.
Once again, if we hold at T-minus 40 seconds, we have an opportunity to hold there for several minutes. This is unique to Starship. We don't have this ability on Falcon.
Well, folks, I suppose we're getting back in the commentation
As we're about
game.
15 seconds away, we did just hear we are going to hold at T-minus 40.
Oh,
so
we are
look for the
holding. All
clock
right.
To
Well,
pause when we hit T-minus 40.
Please, come on.
Finish troubleshooting.
This is just part of the game, but
yeah, man.
Nervous
Hopefully our
ticking.
drone,
Start hearing more.
shot
If that clock's gonna,
can
when
withstand.
That clock's gonna start
I
rolling.
really, really
So,
hope.
holding at T-minus 40.
Not to speculate too much, but as I heard, as I
in the
understood it,
background,
they're
still
probably
troubleshooting.
troubleshooting some kind of computer-related
Hang
issue
out
on the
here for
booster.
a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
As I heard, they said state machine, so this is just
Yeah.
a gamble, but if they're referencing that, it's probably to do with the guidance computer system and how the booster essentially knows what it's doing.
All right, and it sounds like we cleared the issue on the booster.
Clear the issue.
Holding.
okay. So you're telling me that the booster knows where it is because it knows where it isn't.
Talking through that right
Exactly.
It may well.
We'll be staying in for commentary this time as we're going to talk through the rest of the launch.
It's incredible to think that we
Oh
just,
my
God.
we just stacked this vehicle
It's
earlier
going to be
this
awesome.
morning, and we're already
It's going to be awesome, fellas.
Let's go.
Who's ready? Who's ready? Can we get some hype in the chat?
Come on, get some W's in the chat. Let's go.
Just a little hype, please.
by far
Just a
we are
little.
fastest.
Just a little bit.
Get some hypes in the chat. Come on.
With these vehicles.
We
Gonna
are
get a launch.
feeding
Gonna get a
off
launch.
your
Come on.
energy. Let's go.
We really
They're
want
just
to
completing
get
some
to a point
final launch
where we
checkouts
can
now, but it looks like they will be proceeding through the hold. So
Oh,
let's just
wow.
see
Here we
how
go.
it goes.
fly as quickly
Wow.
as possible.
Wow, wow, wow,
And
wow,
so
wow,
this
wow,
is
wow, wow, wow.
definitely
So
Oh
who
my.
can tell which views are IGW and which one's
Yeah,
SpaceX?
this is hard, man. This is hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
Where's Waldo?
should this booster
Where is
come back
Waldo?
for a
Don't know.
successful
Oh,
landing,
God.
you were
Wow.
talking about
Woo.
the rapid part.
Yo,
of
I'm
rapid
getting the
reusability. This
nervous
booster may
jitters like I
fly
do
on
when
a
I'm out at
future Starship
Starbase
flight,
filming this thing.
if we're
Wow.
able to
Yeah.
Doesn't
catch
it's
and,
crazy. They were talking about those sonic booms at Flight 7. They
Yeah.
actually
that have
scared me
just
so
recently
much that
joined us.
I
We
could not
have,
hold my tripod
pause
steady.
at T-minus 40 seconds, just
So
to,
real. Oh my God.
assess
Come on,
and work through
SpaceX.
a problem
Come
that
on.
popped up, in
We're so
the
close to the
countdown,
finish line. So
and
close
we
to the
are
finish
holding
line.
here as the team's
do
troubleshooting.
Well, I
this
hope
thing,
is that
guys.
they
Come on.
launch fairly quickly because we
put in
have a
solution, and
camera
we will be
rolling,
able
which
to
will give us
proceed
some
with
very,
it.
very, very good footage.
Come on.
Some
Come on.
things, indicating that we're just
We'll
holding
roll
it
for an hour,
about
which is
5
great,
seconds.
but that doesn't mean we want to let it do
This
that.
is, a great
actually. Please, come on
The
now.
bigger that file is, the more annoying it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more so the camera not being capable of waiting, and more so us not being capable of waiting.
Exactly.
Yes.
The nervousness is really on another
Dude,
level.
it's real, man.
Well, we've now got 148 of you. Thank you very much for sticking with us through this. Of course, we're going to be here for the entire launch and for a little bit after to discuss our thoughts on it and catch some of the action on X. Of course, we do have an X account. It's in the description. Maybe not right now, but after the launch, take a look at it, give it a follow. We'll post some things on there.
And thank you guys all for your super chats and for getting memberships. If you are new here, please subscribe. We've got much more coming your way.
We do.
It's a nice feature to allow the team to wait for final.
Well, I mean,
assess final
for something that for a launch that did not have a wet dress rehearsal or even a partial tanking test like they did at all, this is going really smoothly.
Oh
Yeah, they've done enough launches now that the wet dress rehearsals are starting to lose their functions.
Seriously,
they're keeping that. I mean, they're iteratively. It's iteratively updating every vehicle as they go, but they're similar enough that they can power through.
I am nervous, man.
Ultimately, the end vision for these Starship launches will probably be to have a reduced operating crew as well. Having this many people monitoring all the systems won't be necessary when the systems are proven.
Exactly. Right. Completely automating it. Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, where are we at, guys? Come on, folks.
I mean, for what it's worth, part of the difficulty with rockets is that they are automated already completely, but you have to watch absolutely everything. So there's so many little things that can go wrong. There are literally thousands of checks that have to be done before a launch can actually succeed. If the computer's fed wrong information, it won't function. If it gives you wrong information, it won't function. There's a lot that goes into it, so... I'm reminded of that one Ariane flight failure that had an integer overflow.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And ended up going a little bit upside down. So, you know.
Yep. Now we all patiently hold our breath and hope that they send this thing, man.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
The main kind of issue that we're going to be watching for this flight will be after stage separation. We're going to be watching to see if the Starship makes it through that orbital insertion burn. Well, nearly orbital insertion burn. Obviously, last time what happened was there were resonances in the attic area of Starship, which caused some damage to fuel lines, and that seems to have leaked out into the attic.
Yeah.
Update from SpaceX, they are still holding, just letting us know that they're still holding.
Apparently there was an issue on the booster, which they have now cleared. However, there was a small issue on the ship, which they are working to clear. Both of these apparently still have a solution. They're holding for a little bit longer. Hopefully this gets done with quickly.
Take a look at the chat in the meanwhile. David Legg mentioning how their computer science professor uses the Ariane 5 launch to make it clear why we have to declare variables correctly. Yeah, and you think about the firmware on Ariane 5, it's pretty simple compared to the firmware on Starship. Because this firmware handles going up and coming down under a common stack, which is completely different. It's pretty incredible that they manage to handle issues and errors as they do.
Yeah.
We will let you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Burning Core,
we are tracking it. So we'll see what we can do.
We are working on
that. Luckily, the hole's giving us some time to have a look-see too.
Yeah. We're also troubleshooting. Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've still got the second pan tilt zoom on the right, which will give you, hopefully, an even better view.
Indeed.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We know. We know.
Oh, we're about to get a decision, I think, from SpaceX.
For a second.
We're counting. All right, we're counting.
Shoot.
Oh God, we're counting.
Roll back magic.
Roll it.
We are go.
Get the shit
We're
out.
go for launch. We're proceeding through that countdown hole. T-minus 30 seconds now to launch of Starship Flight 8.
Oh my God. We're doing it.
Not the panic in the stream.
Oh my God. Okay. The camera's rolling. The camera's rolling.
Back to 41 seconds.
Oh, we kicked it back?
Oh. Okay, we're holding again. No problem. Just kidding.
Just want to keep us on our toes, I guess.
Oh, man.
This is abuse. This is abuse by SpaceX.
I need some
This
hot
is
sauce.
actually abusive behavior.
Dude.
This is not acceptable.
Bro, what the?
You're kidding me.
Kezzy, I could not agree more.
There's a meme I could say right now, but I will not say it.
Oh no.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
SpaceX explain.
Can we just all have some respect and some condolences for Emlyn, our stream manager,
Yeah.
who's currently grappling with setting and disabling a camera over and over as SpaceX taunts us.
We are now gonna hang out here again at T-40.
Don't forget having to rapidly change our microphone volumes as they scream over each other.
Oh my god.
Dude, can you imagine the amount of audio mixing this man's having to do? Of course, he's got me at highest volume because I've got the smoothest commentary.
For sure.
The
Yeah,
smoothest-
you know how to talk
Booster
normally.
apparently triggered an auto hold. Boo!
Seeing that clock move, you will know.
Oh
If we're
man.
gonna go for our launch attempt today, or if we
Ooh.
just try it again another day. So.
Oh my god.
Don't say that, Dan. Dan is saying, Dan is saying
Dan
the
is
worst
being a
thing.
bit pessimistic. I
Possibly
reckon
say
we're
right
going to
now?
try it, but there is a small
think that'd be
chance that this gets scrubbed. If it does, then we will stick
scrubs
around to
live,
shitpost on
on
Twitter.
live, on camera. Oh my
It'll
god.
be awful.
Why?
That'd be
Why?
awful. It better not. It
We're
better not.
so close, man.
I will lose it. Come on, do not make me have a crash.
I want you
out.
to have some feelings for that drone operator who's probably fighting with less and less battery life right now.
Oh my god, yeah. And he's like,
Dude,
y'all.
saying,
He's
like,
like,
come
do
on,
I have time to
SpaceX."
land this? Do I have time to land it and re-switch batteries? Like, what's up?
Someone said-
Chat, we are scrubbing for the day.
What?
Oh.
Just hear the call. We are going to offload for today.
No.
That is a scrap.
Oh,
So they're now
no.
offloading Propellant. So
No.
unfortunately, today's flight is cancelled. Sorry you had to find out this way.
Small tweaks, so we are
That is a serious shame.
Jover.
You're
That's a
kidding.
serious shame. But
It is
while
Jover.
we still have 143 of you, we aren't going to go anywhere for a little bit. Do check out our social media pages. We will be posting some stuff from there, and we will have some footage from this, which maybe we'll post, just to keep you tied along.
Kidding me.
It's a shame that this is part of launching.
Dude.
Everything that kicked us out of our attempt today. So obviously just keep
Our
an eye
CEO
on it.
is
Oh my god.
very upset.
So
Oh god, he's crashing out again.
could be
Yeah, well, they-
Yeah, no, completely justified. Let him go.
no.
Let him go.
So
Yeah.
Our
This will be
CEO
this is a justified
just-
crash out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, we have a. I can confirm in our
blasting-
private studio we've got a crash out of
Someone
enormous
take his
magnitude.
phone away.
Oh
right
my
now.
god.
Our CEO is fully losing his mind. Bless his
Okay.
heart.
Being said in the back channels that will not be repeated ever.
Will not be
Cancel the
what is
grace. Let's just let me quickly redirect us into what did go well today. We
Okay,
did have a
yeah.
successful prop load. We went through the entire countdown pretty smoothly up until T-40 seconds, and we're holding due to various issues across the ship and booster. My guess is they're computer related. We'll probably find out more in the future. Either way, they're both probably going to be healthy after this. They're offloading propellant, so there aren't any massive issues. I'm pretty sure they'll try again for a launch soon. Nothing's been lost here.
Some brain cells on our team.
And a crash out of horrible proportions. But
Oh, man.
anyway,
I just tweeted SpaceX dog, we are going to get you.
maybe don't tweet that.
No, no. That is
FBI knocking on the
unspecified.
door.
Oh my god.
Well,
Quote from
okay.
my lovely roommate Bell. I hate my stupid Chungus Starship life. I believe it was.
We've got 100 of you still here. Tell us, guys, how are you feeling after this? Has this ruined your day? Are you going to go get some sleep? Were you staying
Yep.
up for this?
I
Got
am
people
drinking.
throwing chairs in the chat. We got people throwing chairs in the chat. It's over.
You got a chair throw in the chat?
Oh,
I'm
Of
drinking.
course, as we got that wet dress
Oh my-
rehearsal after all. So we did. An extraordinarily
Yes.
wet one, actually. Too wet.
Oh yeah, very the most wet.
Okay. Poor phrasing, perhaps.
You know, not in a fun way, I should say. Sorry.
Let's move on. Any other views on this launch, guys? How are we feeling? Christ
Interesting.
almighty.
Oh,
That
I
was
mean, it
awful.
looked
That
it
was
looked
awful.
pretty.
It looks
It looks
great.
beautiful,
Yeah.
When it
man.
wasn't cloudy.
We had a
As
nice
the
test
sun
of our
is
equipment, I guess.
Ezzy is updating the downfall edit as we speak. Terrific.
Oh god.
Needed.
Oh, we've got Yuka? Sorry, I may not be pronouncing that right. Clock is 1:55 a.m. Dude, get some rest. It's unfortunate, but
Oh my god.
if I can count the amount of
say when they're
times
gonna
SpaceX has
recycle
done
for?
this to me.
Did they say we're gonna recycle, or what they're gonna recycle for?
Didn't catch it. I'm going to presume they'll try for
I think they just said
something in the coming days.
again. They said try again,
I'm-
basically.
I am hoping for tomorrow.
Well, we'll see if it is tomorrow. Keep an eye on our X account. We will post it there.
Yeah, 100%. Follow our
This
X,
is we try
Twitter.
and give you the news as
No,
quickly
no.
as we can
Oh,
over here.
no.
That is what we do.
Oh no.
Indeed. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and if you do want to continue watching our streams and supporting us, the best way to do so is to subscribe to us on not only here on YouTube, but you can also subscribe to us on our X account.
Yes, thank you. If you
Indeed.
want to get a membership, whatever. God Christ, man, it is
poor
so
Perigee.
over. It's so over. It's so over.
You
You
can
took this
hear the sadness
personally.
in his voice.
It's over. Oh God.
I'll tell you what. I think the team might have quite a lot of work to do in sorting out this this whole situation. An awful lot of cameras to switch off and to get in sleep mode. So we'll give them a few minutes to do so. Good night,
Indeed,
Yoka.
indeed.
Good having you. Joshua said he thought he heard 48 hours, but he's not sure. Well, we will let you know.
Well-
We're quite good at finding launch information on here. We normally have like 15 tabs open across all the different websites and looking at all the different Discord servers and collating all of it as much as we can.
Pretty sure my tabs are my open tabs on my browser are a reflection of my brain tabs that are open at all times. Just hundreds of them. All right. Well, I think we are. Yeah, it has been interesting. I think we are close to wrapping up this stream for today. Does anybody want to close us out on this one?
Oh, I don't know, man. What do I even say? This is awful. My day's ruined.
I'll close this
I'll
out.
take it.
I'll close this
I'll take
out.
it if you'd like.
Go on. Give us a
Alright.
eulogy. Give us a soliloquy. Passion, please, Miranda. Passion.
All right. Well, today sucked, but there is always tomorrow. And if it is not tomorrow, it'll be the next day. And if it is not the next day, it'll be the day after that. But we will see this vehicle get off the ground, and we will be there to stream it. And you will be here to watch, and you will owe nothing and be happy, and we will enjoy it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you.
All
It's very
right.
profound.
Thank you, ladies and gents.
Thank you very much, everyone, for following along. Again, please do check out our socials. It's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you for your super chats, your subscriptions, and your memberships. We'll be posting more very, very soon. We might have some footage from this that we might share, we might not. Depends how we're feeling, depends how great the crash out is. But at any rate, go have a great, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. That's all from us.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Good night.
See ya.
Bye.